Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a sunny Latimer Park. It's FA Cup Day here at Burton, and we have John Dunham with us to oversee the game against Sutton Coldfield Town, the second qualifying round of the Emirates FA Cup, and you'll be able to hear it live here on Poppy's TV, sponsored this season by Elgood's Brewery. A little later in the afternoon, we'll have Alan Doyle joining us when John trots off. So we're speaking to Uncle Alan Doyle. Well, last Saturday we had a thrilling game against Alfreton Town in the league. A fully deserved victory, going 2-0 up in 5 minutes. A penalty in 23 seconds. A welcome relief to the club. And while that was going on, Sutton and Coldfield won their first league game of the season, winning 2-1 at Lincoln United. So both teams, John, should be in confident mood this afternoon.
Very much so. FA Cup. The old saying is that league form goes out the window anyway, which up until last weekend probably wouldn't have been a bad thing for Kettering. So, but no, they're from their point of view, they're coming in on much better feeling, I would think, after last Saturday. It was a really good performance against Alfreton, well deserved win, and obviously they had the County Cup game in the week where they played a strong team against Cooknow and followed it up with a comprehensive 5-1 win as well. So Kettering are very much in good nick, but FA Cup, playing a lower ranked side, no club in non-league football knows more about causing FA Cup upsets than Kettering Town. So they're trying to avoid one today, and I'm sure it will be a tricky game for them.
I'm sure it will be. Sutton had a very good win away at Redditch United in a replay a couple of weeks ago, having beaten Gresley, again away from home, in the preliminary round of the FA Cup. We'll come to Sutton Coldfield in a few moments. As John said, we beat Cooknow 5-1 at Latimer Park on Tuesday, with goals from Aaron O'Connor 2, Joel Carter 2, and Elliot Hodge being watched by his father Steve, making up the 5th goal. We had a young debutee in goal called Adam Honour, who made a telling contribution in goal with a great save off his legs, with the score at 1-0 to the Poppers. And if you have been on our Poppers TV website, you can see that great save from the youngster, who is at Whitworth, Wellingborough Whitworth, I believe, in their reserve. So he came on, giving Paul White a rest, and Paul White is back in the side today. I'll just go through Kettering Town's team for you. Here it goes. In goal is Paul White. Number 2 is Gary Storer. 3, Marcus Kelly. 4, and captain Joe Scars. 5, Sam Cartwright. 6, Brett Sulkin. 7, Lyndon Meikle. 8, Aaron O'Connor. 9, Daniel Enty. 10, Connor Kennedy. And 11, Ben Mills. 7 subs used, or could be used today. Well, not used, I suppose, but in contention for coming on. We have Elliot Hodge at 12, 14 Joel Carter, 15 James Brighton, 16 Jarvan Vidal, 17 Mo Seba, 18 Luke Graham, and 19 young Jack Norman, who's been given a chance on the subs bench from the academy side, John.
Yeah, and with the starting lineup, there's obviously just the one change with Michael McGrath being cup tied. So there had to be one change. Brett Sulkin comes in. It looks like they'll be sticking with a back 3, which has worked pretty well for him. Certainly worked very well for him against Alfreton last weekend. So aside from that, no messing around from Nicky Eden. It's an unchanged team. It's a strong team, and rightly so. There's plenty on the line this afternoon, so they need to be as strong as possible. They need to come out of the blocks quickly and try and see if they can take a firm grip on the game. But yeah, great to see Jack Norman on the bench. Don't know a great deal about him, aside that he's a first year scholar, but I was speaking to a couple of people in the know, if you like, in the last couple of days, and he's very highly rated. So yeah, I would have thought, if they're hopefully, fingers crossed, in some sort of position of comfort late on in the game, then I'm sure they'll do their level best to try and get him on the pitch.
Well, it would be nice if they were in a good position. We're only 10 goals ahead of Tottenham Hotspur, who lost 2-1 to Leicester today in the early kick-off, but Kettering on 889 goals, and Spurs just 10 behind. So we could do with a nice convincing win today to get above Spurs on that. Kettering have won 221 games in the FA Cup and lost just 118. The last time they lost at this stage in the competition was at Latimer Park. It was in 2014 against Chalfont St Peter. But since then, they've won all 4 games against AFC Telford, Rush, All Olympic, Kidsgrove, and AFC Mansfield. and that was the lowest attendance in a second qualifying round game at home. 504 were at that game last season. Interesting to see on a glorious afternoon what the attendance will be today. This is the Kettering's 122nd season in the FA Cup. Remarkable, isn't it? And no Poppy has scored a hat-trick at this stage of the competition since 1950 at least. Brett Solkin, the Kettering Angel, has scored 11 goals in FA Cup folklore and has scored 6 in his last 4 games, just missing out against Aldershot in that 2-0 defeat last season. In fact, it was Solkin who scored the last hat-trick in the FA Cup for Kettering in 2018-19 against Hensford Town. I remember it well.
Yeah, you'd be having a little flutter on him being first goal scorer or something like that
Well,
today, wouldn't you?
penalties.
He loves it. Yeah, I think they were, wasn't it? A hat-trick of penalties against Hensford. Yeah, I seem to remember that. But he loves the FA Cup, doesn't he? I mean, his history with this competition with Kettering is, pretty much unparalleled, I would think. When you look back on particularly that run of 2008, 2009, the goals against Notts County in particular.
And Lincoln as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think, did he score against Lincoln?
No, it was Notts County home and away, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
Notts County home and away, yeah. So, but, you might have a little flutter on him bagging one this afternoon. But, say, with Kettering's history in the competition, you referred to it there with the number of games they've played and the number of games they've won and the number of goals they've scored and everything. It's always a special time when the FA Cup comes around here, I think. It's a very much a respected competition and one that Kettering have got a real glorious history in. So, but, we all know that to get to those real glory moments, you've got to get through the hard yards, and this certainly represents a hard yard today, I think.
Well, Sutton and Coldfield Town are managed by Neil Tooth and play in the Bet Victor Northern Division South East and are currently in 18th position. Should there be a replay, of course, it will be at Coles Lane. We have played there before against in the FA Cup against Romulus, I believe, a couple of seasons ago. I think we won that one 3-0. It's a carpet of a ground, isn't it? It's a 3G
it's a 3G,
surface.
yeah.
It's a bit like my carpet in my front room. And they were ground sharing with the Royals at the time. And Poppy's TV will cover that game should that be. But so far in the league, they beat Redditch 3-1 in a replay. They drew at home 1-1 and beat Gresley 2-1 away, as mentioned. In the league, not so hot. They lost 2-0 at Leek, 3-1 at home to Cleethorpes Town, lost 1-0 away at Charlton Town, at home 2-0 to Spalding United, and then they won their first game against Lincoln United 2-1. Again, we've met them in the FA Cup a little while ago as well. So Neil Tooth will be hoping that his side can up their game and try and put one over Kettering Town, which I'm sure he'd love to do. And I'm sure, as you say, FA Cup springs a lot of surprises. Kettering have done that in the past, and I'm sure Sutton Coldfield, the Royals, will enjoy the afternoon here at Latimer Park.
Well, they've obviously got it in their locker, haven't they? Because to go and win at Redditch, it's still a team from one division higher than themselves. So to go and do that on a Tuesday night in a replay as well, after holding them at home, is a real good effort. It's obviously another step up for them today, but it's always dangerous with a team that, and it's not being disrespectful to say that they're probably coming here with very little to lose and everything to gain. I think that's spot on. And when you play a team like that, it can make them even more dangerous than they already are. It's interesting if you just look at their results, whether in the league or cup, that most of the good form has been on the road. Kettering will take them lightly at their peril. If they take them lightly and they don't play as well as they can, with full maximum effort, then they will come unstuck today. This team, this Sutton Coldfield team will need to take their chances when they come along and try and keep Kettering out. I think that'll be, judging on last weekend and the way Kettering played against Alfreton, I think Sutton Coldfield have got a bit of a task on their hands to do that, because I thought Kettering looked excellent going forward last weekend and could have scored more goals than they actually did in the end. So Kettering have got to be wary, but at the same time, they've got to come out of the gate quite quickly and see if they can take a firm grip on the game.
Well, if Kettering do win this game today, there'll be no replay on Tuesday. So the next game will be away at Hereford, Edgar Street, next Saturday. That's September the 28th. Poppers TV Audio will be covering this game. Then we're into October the 5th. It's the Emirates FA Cup third qualifying round. That will be announced on the draws on Monday and announced on Monday. So we'll find out if we're still in the competition, who we will face home or away. Then it's back here at Latimer Park on Saturday the 12th against Spenamore Town, and then Altrincham on the 19th again at Latimer Park, and finally in October away at Curzon Ashton on the 26th, a ground I've never been to, and that is the last game of October. Before all that, though, on October the 11th, if you've not already bought your ticket, please do so. It's Legends Night at Latimer Park. £10 a ticket, with Sean Suddards, Gordon Livesey and Jim Conn telling stories and having a chat with fans in the clubhouse. It should be a good evening in the bar there, if anything was to go by the Barry Fry night, and the future ones that are planned. It should be in a legendary status.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It should be a good night. I've certainly heard good things about some of the events that Jim Condé's done before. So, I think...
Seems we can't mention on the radio anyway.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I think I think he's very good from what I've heard. So, yeah, I think, that sounds like a really good night at the clubhouse, to be honest. And I'm sure there'll be many a famous story. But just going back on those league fixtures that they've got coming up, they just feel like they're coming into a bit of a run at the minute now, where they're going to start playing teams more in and around them a little bit. I think the next couple of months, if you look ahead on the fixtures that they've got coming up in November as well, I think the next couple of months are going to be quite big for Kettering in terms of trying to get themselves, right. Trying to get themselves into a position of comfort, I think.
Well, Spennymoor Town, unfortunately, hit a little bit of form recently, haven't they?
Expected that as well, because they're right up there in the playoffs last season, weren't
they? I think in the last 6 seasons, they've never been out the top 8.
No, yeah, so they're
a decent side.
They're obviously going to come good at some point. But just look at look at Altrincham and just think, well, maybe that's a winning game somewhere along the line. But then they go and thrash Leamington 5-0 or something like that, didn't they?
And lost 5-0 to Boston.
So results are all over the place. What Kettering have got to do is make sure that win against Alfreton is a starting point for what's to come, and they've got to try and continue it today. It's all about momentum and trying to keep that momentum going.
Nick Eden said, and he seems to be quite right, that any team could beat any team on their day.
I think that's right.
I think after seeing the Alfreton game last weekend, you can say that, because I thought Kettering were excellent in that game, and really probably should have won by more than 2-1, and that is the highest side we've actually played. I know Chester are ahead of Alfreton in the league, but at the time we played them, they weren't.
But just on that, it's strange, isn't it? Because I was here for the Chester game, and Chester were they were okay, but Kettering should have beaten them. They had the opportunity to beat them, and then Alfreton come along, who are fourth, and and it's not being disrespectful to them, but Kettering outplayed them pretty much for the whole game, and if that's the standard, then there's the level that Kettering have got to be at. But they've got to be at that level week in, week out. And the other thing that they didn't do on Saturday, which I've done in other games, is no one made a mistake. They didn't make a mistake. If you don't make a mistake, you can't get punished for it. And no one made a mistake against Alfreton. So
even on Tuesday there was a mistake, but luckily Adam Honor in goal stopped that going in, didn't he? And that was a great save from him. From a Carter mistake, and he ran on I think it was Corelli, the number 9, ran through and fired it down low. I said 1-1, and the young keeper outstretched leg. That was the only mistake that Kettering made, and almost paid the penalty for it. But there we go. Okay, well, John's going to nip off. Thank you, John, for your time. We can go and relax now and do some real work, some writing in the coolness of outside. And once again, I can bring on one of our old favourites. It's Uncle Alan Doyle. Come on down, Al.
You right?
Not too bad yourself.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get on this
you
better.
Get on that seat, don't fall off, because last time you fell off, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
It was,
we was going up and I was going down.
I was actually banging the floor in hysterics. I shouldn't have done that really, but it was amusing. But there we go, you're on safely.
Yeah.
And FA Cup day, special day for the club.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I was just speaking to some supporters who said they've supported for 50, 55 years and everything, and they were talking about the Fulhams and the Blackburns and all the games and everything, and I said, I'm coming up to 8 years since I've been here, and we've never got even to the first round.
No, it's been spectacularly poor, hasn't it?
Yeah, especially when obviously one of the things you first find out when you join Kettering is that how many goals they've scored, and nobody scored any. Great quiz question, the most goals, is it Liverpool, is it Man United, is it Arsenal? No, it's Kettering. And it's a fantastic thing to try and keep going. So, it'd be nice, and the thing is, when you look at, you think, well, if we get to the second or third round, or we could qualifying round, we'll be playing a conference team or a national league team. But we are one now. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I it'd be nice, to get out, but there's always the easy matches are not as easy because it's the FA Cup.
Yeah, we met Aldershot last season, didn't we? We've had,
Yeah.
I think it was Solihull Moors a little while later.
Yeah,
so,
they were both the highlights.
Yeah, and
Really.
you look at where Aldershot Town are now in the in their league. They're about fourth from bottom, and we weren't totally outplayed that day, but it was a good performance by Aldershot against
definitely.
Kettering. But again, Sutton Coldfield will fancy their chances.
Well, yeah, I mean, Nicky went to watch them in the replay, and he's told me, that they were quite decent and everything. So obviously, but I think the thing is when you play a team a couple of leagues behind, you've got to try and impose yourself. I'm not saying we're going to start like we did last week, but it'd be fantastic. Yeah, I can't ever remember anybody doing that, to score 2 in 2 minutes like that to start a game. But you've got to get at them basically and try and push yourself. So they think it's going to be hard, and we, because really and truthfully, I've watched most of the home games, and without, I know it's ifs and buts and maybes, we could have easily won all 5 or 6 home games. You know what I mean? And be way up the league. I haven't been. I've obviously watched other teams doing reports and I've seen other teams and everything, and they're fitter, they're physically stronger, which we knew they would be. But I think apart from a couple of games, we've coped with the big boys.
The disappointing games, Al, really were the Kidderminster game, being 2 goals ahead and then getting 3-2 ahead and then losing that one.
And Chester was as well.
Chester 1-1 was disappointing, as was the Gateshead match, and Boston really, and we should have done better in that game.
Yeah,
to be fair.
definitely.
But that is the league, and we're in the FA Cup. As I say, it's been a disappointing, I think, season so far, but there's been a lot of changes, hasn't there, since last season?
A lot, yeah.
A lot of people don't realise behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, we had sort of like a first team of 16 players, of which 12, 13 were the same most weeks and everything, and then we lost practically a whole back 4. Well, we did lose a whole back 4, and Richo's like lost a bit of form, and he's gone on loan, and then with people like Reese and Dan Holman was a quality player.
But they're not getting in their sides, are they? They're not getting in Bracker's side or Tamworth's side, or
well, they ain't got the right people behind them.
They haven't.
Anymore.
Towers went, of course, and he's
I think initially that was a big thing, losing him. And I see that both the two of them with Stanley, they're both at Nuneaton now.
Yeah, Stanley left Clitheroe, which was a bit of a strange one, but there we go. Looking at this side today, we've got 7 substitutes. Obviously, we can only use 3. It's good to get Jack Norman in there, who's got potential. Also, we might see Mo Seba. Have you seen much of him at all?
Well, Thomas Bailey told me that he done well for him last year, and I watched him here the other night. And I'll tell you what he does well. He does the easy thing well. He wins the ball, drops his shoulder, passes, keeps it, goes into the ball. So I think, he could be a useful addition that can plot in, sit in front of the back 4, just a sitting role, and without being spectacular, he looks as if he can play a bit. And it was good to see 1 or 2. The thing that I enjoyed most about the other night was Bright, because he's a bit of a favourite of mine, because obviously I've known him for a long time. But it wasn't the way. I mean, he is I forgot how good he is as a wing back, and he was quick, but what was really good, I know the hell he went through for that 15 months and not playing and everything, and if he'd ever do it again, and he proved the other night, albeit not a great opposition or anything, but he showed how fit he was, and that was the best thing for me. So I really enjoyed
playing a
it.
game on a Tuesday night like that is better than playing training, isn't it?
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, and we got a decent draw at Wellingborough. Because there's some decent teams in the cup, and if you get to the semi-final, we had a great night against Coldfield in that final. We had a great night in the other final, and I think it gives, if you have got some good youngsters coming through, you can blood them, and obviously at the moment we got a lot of players who think they can get in the first team. So,
Part of your role is the technical director, and I know that there's things you can't tell us, obviously, but and I know I keep asking Nicky, are we looking at other players, and are those players look likely to be coming to the club? Have you got anything you can enhance the fans with that in the future?
Yeah, I mean, all the time we get 3 or 4 a week mentions. People tell me about someone. Nicky tells them. Luke gets told something, or if somebody's available or something like that, and we have put a lot of work into it, and I've been watching 2 or 3 players, and one is, as good as done. So you'll see
Ollie
next
Burgess.
week. Pardon? Yeah, you'll see. I'll get somebody to get in touch with you. You work for the advertising part of this company.
Well,
So I'm sure you'll get told eventually.
yeah, hopefully, yeah, would help. But
Yeah, there is. I mean, but the thing is what it has proved is that Kings Lynn have proved it with the 2 lads they got up front that I've spoke to with our previous manager over the years, and they're on a lot of money, but they're very good players and they're doing the business. And if you do the business of putting the ball in the net, and then you stop 1 or 2 at the other end, you've got a decent team. And I don't think we've got the money to compete with some of the, certainly the top third of the teams, and so I'm it's not exactly looking in a shoestring. It's just that you got to hear things. It's like getting a tip for a horse. You get a tip for a player. You go and see him and you think, what a load of rubbish. And you have to, when you go to level 4 or level 5, you have to realise what you're watching. Even if the player looks really good, can he do it at the next level, at level 3, or can he do it in the thing? And we've seen the difference between how we knocked the ball about and won the league by 15, 16 points last year, but we haven't been able to do that.
there is a contrast.
There is, and when you're scouting and you're looking, you have to try and sometimes you only see this particular lad. I've only seen once, but some good judges have told me he was really good, and he done in the game I saw him. He done what I wanted him to do. But whether he can do the rest, you don't know. You just
You've got to take that chance, haven't you?
you don't know how players can, get at a certain level, and are they happy? They might have a horrible trip here. They might not be happy at home. They might.
It's surprising though, looking back historically at Kettering forwards that have been great at other clubs, and they come to Kettering and suddenly just freeze. And some real good names like Leroy May or Raki Carter. Wilkinson have all been renowned goal scorers at previous clubs, come to Kettering and they just can't reproduce it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. That's it was a position I played in, and people, when you scored, they used to say, "Oh, anybody could have scored from there or done that." But you do get the glory when you score the goals and you win the games, and I mean, look at I think this Dan is a really good player. I think he works very hard. I've known about him for several years because the manager, his previous club, is a big friend of mine, and he probably could be a better finisher. But then if he was a better finisher, he wouldn't be playing at this level. No. Do you know what I mean? But for guts and for work rate and for touch and everything, he's and I think Hazard, when he makes his mind up, even though he's getting on a bit and everything, he's a very fit person.
He proved last week against Alfreton what he can still do. I mean, he put in a tremendous shift before he came off, and it certainly helped the team.
I just think, when you pick the ball up at full-back or you pick it in midfield, if you've got a William runner all the time and he keeps going, or 2 of them, you've got it's a get out a card and you connect the channels and you connect. And I just think the one thing that we do lack is talking and leaders and leadership and communication. I think we do lack that.
Do you think we're getting better?
What, communicating or football?
Football overall, because the standard from when we first were in the first game, okay, we won that 1-2-1, but since then, of course, it went right down a little bit. Do you think they're getting better?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think the manager's sorting things out, and I think it's a good atmosphere now, and you just, if you look at the fixtures, the next 5 or 6, I'm not saying they're easy fixtures, because
no fixtures are easy.
But there's fixtures there that we certainly should be going for 3 points I think we need a nice away win or something. That'd be handy.
Well, the next game's at Hereford. Of course,
Yeah.
last time we went there,
Yeah.
we lost 4-1. It was their party in their championship winning season, but they're not doing particularly well, thankfully, at the moment. Of course, that is next Saturday. We'll be covering that game in case you can't get to it. Then it's FA Cup action on the 5th. Hopefully, we'll still be in that.
Well,
And then, as you say, we've got Spenamore and Altrincham at home, and then Curzon, Ashton away. All games you would think Kettering stand a chance of getting
yeah,
some
exactly.
points
Yeah.
in,
So I mean, if we can get a bit ahead of the steam like we did in the first 2 minutes and carry that through, and I think we'll be there.
Well, I'm going to have to head upstairs. Thank you once again, Al, for
bless
coming
you.
in. It's always good to have Alan Dorr with us. Gives us insightful knowledge of all things going on Kettering Town. I'm going to have to nip upstairs to get ready for commentary alongside Gary Foreman. So there will be a brief interlude while I struggle up the gantry and get in position. So from me at the moment, I will see you in a few moments. It's Kettering Town, the Poppies, against Sutton Coldfield Town, the Royals. And you'll be able to hear this game live on Poppies TV audio in a few moments. Good afternoon and welcome to a sunny but breezy Latimer Park again. Everyone here in Shorts Bar 1, and it's quite a sparse crowd as expected at Latimer Park this afternoon, despite that lovely win against Alfreton Town. But this afternoon, Sutton Coldfield Town, the Royals, are the visitors in the Emirates FA Cup second qualifying round. And with me, alongside me, as usual, is Gary Foreman. Afternoon, Gary.
Good afternoon, Paul. How are you today?
Absolutely average.
Absolutely average. Well, that's better than normal.
That's
so
better
we'll
than
take
normal. Okay, the lineups are in goal for Kettering: Paul White, Gary Storer, 2, 3, Marcus Kelly, 4, Joe Scars, 5, Sam Cartwright, 6, Brett Sulkin, 7, Lyndon Meikle, 8, Aaron O'Connor, 9, Dan Enty, 10, Connor Kennedy, 11, Ben Mills. The subs for the Poppies this afternoon, there's a lot of them. It is Elliot Hodges, number 12, 14, Joel Carter, 15, James Brighton, 16, Yarvan Vidal, 17, Mo Seba, 18, Luke Graham, and 19, Jack Norman. Sutton Coldfield lineup like this. In goal is Lewis Williams, 2, Ben George, 3, Aris Christopho, 4, Joe Hassel, 5, James Mutton, 6, James Beresford, 7, Ryan Shaw, 8, Desan Martin, 9, Isa Marcella, 10, Reece Leake, and 11, Chindo Okoro. 12 is Edwin Akarona, 14, Cameron Healy, 15, Mario Rose, 16, Joel Powney, and 17, James Harrison. Match referee is Andy Sykes. His assistants are Matthew McQuillan and Brandon Scarf. So those are the lineups. Sutton Coldfield playing in all blue. Kettering, of course, in the usual red and black stripes, and everyone is having the traditional handshake before the game. Lovely afternoon here, really, not a cloud in the sky, and we'll see how this one goes. The next round draw, in case you don't know, is on Monday around 1 o'clock. Let's hope that Kettering Town are still in the competition. Let's not take Sutton Coldfield lightly. They beat Redditch 3-1 away, and they beat Gresley. They also won their first league game of the season against Lincoln United last Saturday, so they are on a bit of form, even though they are in 18th position in the Bet Victor League North Southeast, I think it is, Gary.
Well, wherever they are, they've made a poor start to the season, but then again, so have Kettering. So there's two teams in similar positions in their leagues. Yes, we are 2 leagues ahead, but this is the banana skin for the Poppies. And it's all about, for me anyway, all about their attitude and work rate today. If it's spot on, if it's as good as it was here last Saturday, then I think we'll be fine. But we have to turn up and produce.
Yeah, we'll have to say, we'll have to see on that one. The referee's got the mascots lined up along with the captains for the traditional photograph before the game. The lion is in there, Champ the Lion, or Rocky the Lion, or whatever one it's called, I'm not quite sure. But they're there, all lined up. Photographs have now been taken. The little mascots, so the under-7s, I think it is, the team that we had in the studio. They look very small, don't they? A bit like our back four. But
well, Marcus Kelly was towering over them. That's how small they are.
Well, yes, it's the first time he's ever felt like a land of the giants, isn't it? But the little mascots are running off to rapturous applause, and it was nice to see them in the Poppy's TV studios prior to kick-off, having their visit. Sat in front of the TV, see themselves on telly is always a nice thing for a little kid to see that. And we're not too far now underway. Kettering look like they'll be kicking towards the Brian Martin pallet stand. That's with the fiver, please, Brian. So they're kicking from left to right. And Sutton Coldfield in this all blue, almost like a Shelby stripe down the front of it, isn't it? But they are going to be kicking towards the Tin Hat. Not too many have made the journey from the West Midlands, but can't see many blue and white shirts behind the goal. But there we are. We'll soon find out if they do score, if anyone does make a noise. But it's Sutton Coldfield to get us underway in a few moments. Referee just counting the players on the pitch. He's still going there, looking at his sundial. And we are moments away from the start of the second round, qualifying round of the Emirates FA Cup campaign for Kettering. £6,500 is the booty for the winner of this one. That would do well in the coffers for the club should they win this game. Referee still not happy, and we're off. It is Ryan Shaw putting a long ball straight through to Paul White, who gets his first touch of the game. Playing away from the sun, Paul White. So Lewis Williams will have the sun in his eyes. It's knocked out of play by James Mutton for a Kettering Town throwing on the far side by the corner flag. Kelly has gone over there to retrieve the ball that seems to have gone out the ground at the moment. Oh no, it's back. Kelly has the ball. There's not a lot on for him at the moment. Meikle makes some space, chests it back to Kelly. Kelly having to go back, being challenged, plays it back to Scars, and he gives the ball straight away. It is with Ryan Shaw. He hooks the ball forward for Marcella to chase, but Scars plays the ball to Paul White as Marcella chases him down. White takes the touch, lofts the ball towards Enty, but it's over Enty, headed by the number 5 to Okoro, but he's beaten by Kennedy, and Storer finds O'Connor. O'Connor takes the touch. Still O'Connor with it, feeds the ball through to Storer, who's continued his run inside the penalty area. Here comes Storer, still Storer. It comes off the number 8, and Martin and Storer had a clash. Referee says foul, and free kick to the Royals.
Yeah, decent start by Kettering, getting the ball down, trying to play a bit of football and impose themselves on the visitors this afternoon. Brett Solkin is the one change, of course, from last Saturday. Just slotted into the same position as McGrath at the back as a centre-half. It's more of a 4-4-2 today, though. Marcus Kelly's pushed forward wide left. Gary Storer right back and Joe Scars left back. And obviously probably be expected to Sutton get behind the ball this afternoon, and be up to us to unlock them.
Well, Enty gets the ball onto O'Connor. Out comes Williams as the Sutton Coldfield Town fans that have travelled as a band have come in there. Storer hooks the ball in, but it's cleared out. Ben Mills underneath us if he can get there. Mills heads it back into the area, but it's headed out, but back to Storer. Storer on this right-hand side now with a chance to whip it in if he can. He does so. It comes in towards O'Connor, but headed out for a throw-in back to Storer as the band stops. Quickly taken by Storer to Mills, to Enty on the edge of the penalty area. He's got two options. He gives it the second option, which is Storer. Storer puts one in, right-footed towards the near post, headed out. And that's another throw-in by the corner flag on our right-hand side. Kettering trying to get an early goal, early start. They'd already scored 2 goals by this time last week.
They're slacking.
We'll take one at the moment as the band strikes up. Sounds a bit like Grateful Dead to me, but it is Connor Kennedy with the long throw. It comes into the near post. There's Enty's back post headed there and cleared by Sutton Coldfield, but only to Meikle. But then away bursts Disan Martin, gets the ball to Marcella, but good tackle there from Kennedy. But Marcella gets the ball through towards Ryan Shaw. He's got a good chance here. Shaw comes inside, goes down. Out comes Paul White, and that was definitely a chance there for the visitors.
Yeah, they had 2 against 1 there. Kettering was caught out at the back, and Ryan Shaw striding through, but Cartwright just did enough to hold him up, and he lost his footing even, and Kettering got away with that one.
Paul White then with the goal kick towards Enty. Enty flicks it on, but only towards Christopher, who gets the ball out, and that should be a Kettering Town throw-in as we're getting some jazz now, I think it is.
I've never heard a band like this up here before at a football match. It's incredible, really.
Yeah.
We got drums, we got trumpets, and well, it's unbelievable.
Well, Gary Storer is breaking away down this right-hand side. He's just a little bit too heavy there. He's beaten to it by Christopher, who's got the ball to Kennedy, though. Kennedy keeps it in and flicks the ball through to nowhere. And that should go to goalkeeper Williams. And the band has finally stopped. But, yeah, impressive stuff there from the Sutton Coldfield band. Getting a round of applause from
a round of applause from the Kettering fans,
yeah.
Actually. That's hard to get.
Gwillams with the kick, gets us back underway towards Okoro. Flicks it on, but cleared by Mills. Back to Paul White, who lofts a ball. It's a sand wedge. It's coming towards O'Connor, who's beaten to it. Sutton Coldfield with possession. It is Okoro with the ball, doing well to beat Storer. He's got Marcella in front of him, but cleared by Cartwright. Goes on to pitch 2, new ball required. And a throw in on our left-hand side, midway in Kettering's half to the Royals. It's going to be Aris Christophou who's going to take this, looks like a long throw in. It is, it comes in towards the near post. Solkins there, it's headed out and cleared by Cartwright. And then eventually Sutton get the ball back to Christopher, who's stayed up from that throw in. He puts it in right-footed, and in comes the number 7 Shaw, cleared though by Solkin. Pressure from Sutton Coldfield. Kettering can't get the ball out of their own half at the moment. Another throw-in, and the band has stopped striking up. I thought I was at Edgbaston for a while for an England game, the way it was sounding. Throw-in then about to be taken midway in Kettering's half on this left-hand side. It's going to be a long throw-in by Christopher, who puts it in towards the near post, headed out by Kennedy. Dealt with by Leake. Leake on the other side. He's got Meikle in front of him. Leake comes inside though, and it comes off Kelly for a corner to Sutton Coldfield on the far right-hand side. And the band strike up.
Yeah, we've got something to play about at the moment. Good response from Sutton Coldfield from the early pressure from Kettering, providing a bit of pressure of their own. And Kettering got to defend.
Corner coming in, it does, and it is hooked in by the number 5. Hand cries of handball, but cleared by Kettering. That was Mutton who had the shot. Only O'Connor up front, and Sutton Coldfield get the ball back. It comes though to Meikle. Meikle got a chance to get it to Milnes. It doesn't get to Milnes, and Sutton Coldfield strike in, and it's offside is Marcella, and a free kick to Kettering. But another decent chance there for Sutton Coldfield. The referee wants to have a word with Mutton, who's had a bit of verbals. 0-0 here at Latimer Park in this Emirates FA Cup second qualifying round. You're listening to Poppy's TV Audio, sponsored by Elgood's Brewery. Alongside me is Gary Foreman for the match as the band strike up again. Paul White has got his arms on his haunches, waiting to be told to get underway. He's in the centre, in the mid-centre of the park. He takes a dummy touch, places it towards Enty. Enty flicks it down, and that goes out for a goal kick. If there is a replay for this game, early doors I know, but that will be on Tuesday night at Coles Lane. We've been there before. He played at Romulus in the FA Cup there a couple of seasons ago. And it's a bit like a carpet pitch, isn't it, if I remember right? Axminster carpet.
AstroTurf, yeah.
Alleged. But that is Salcombe beaten to it. But the ball has come off Meikle, who couldn't control it. It's a throw-in on the far side by the Burton Park Wanderers stand. Kettering really can't get themselves sorted at the moment. And throw-in about to be taken. So quite a sparse at Latimer Park.
There's more than there's here on Tuesday.
Well, it's more the bus queue that was on Tuesday.
79 hardy souls here on Tuesday.
The ball comes through and referees bringing play back. There's going to be a foul that's committed by Kelly. It's going to be Currow who's going to take this, I think. He's going over. There's three of them over there. There's Joe Hassel. Takes it quickly though. Ball comes in and it cannons off Enty. And Paul White has to come out to stop this going for a corner, which he does. And runs away in the area. Delivers the ball towards Kennedy, who's made an impressive run. He's got Martin with him. Martin, though, should get to the ball. And it is Kettering throwing, I thought. The referee's going over now. Wants a word with Kennedy. He's having a word with the linesman. And the referee wants to have a word with Kennedy. I think he's going to go into the book. It looked like something off the ball there. And let's hope this is the right colour, a yellow and not a red. And it is going to be that
was a needless
challenge
foul.
off the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. He was never going to keep the ball in. And he had a nibble after the ball had gone out. And it was a bit harsh for a yellow card in my book, but it was a stupid challenge to make in the first place. So yet another yellow card for Conor Kennedy.
Yeah, let's hope the referee is consistent with fouls like that. We'll have to wait and see. So a free kick on our right-hand side. Gwillem's the goalkeeper taking it, and it arrives at Scars, who heads the ball back to White. He pumps it into the Sutton half. Enty is there. He flicks it on towards O'Connor. O'Connor's done well. He traps it, turns in the penalty area. There's a few going in there. Might come in for Mills. Might try a shot. Does. And that just goes over.
Yes, his left foot effort just went over by about 2 yards. But Aaron O'Connor finding half a yard in the box, which is a good sign.
Reminiscent of his goal, wasn't it, from last week, where he was inside the box, turned and slammed it by. But
yeah, I think that was a good workout for Aaron, as it was a few players in the week, to be honest. It added a bit of confidence, got on the goal score sheet, and looking to build on that again today.
Kelly gets the ball to O'Connor's pushed in the back. The referee's given nothing, and they get away with it. Referee still given nothing, and now there's a chance here for Sutton Coldfield. It's a breakaway. It's a one-on-one here. In comes the shot, comes in. Goal, 1-0 down. It's number 9, Isa Marcella, puts the visitors ahead. Should that have been a foul?
Well, I thought it was a nudge in the back on Aaron O'Connor. We went to the ground. The referee, though, didn't give it. But that's no excuses for the poor defending afterwards from Kettering, because the back four was sliced open. Way too much room for Azai Marcella to drive forward and plant the ball past Mr. White in goal. So
just saying about referees being consistent. So we go and get Conor Kennedy booked for something off the ball on our right-hand side, and then a nudge in the back of O'Connor, nothing given. But as you say, you really shouldn't have left that exposed, as Paul White was. Good strike from Marcella, and Kettering are behind in this competition and now have it all to do.
Yeah, after a bright 5 minutes or so from Kettering, it's certainly actually a bit first to the ball and looking dangerous, and Kettering just need to up their game, up their concentration levels, and get at it again.
Well, the ball has gone out for a Kettering Town, throwing on our right-hand side here. Storer gets to it towards Enty. Enty chests it down. He's down by the corner flag. Has to play the ball back to Storer. Storer didn't put one in. Plays it square towards Ben Mills. Mills fires, and that's high and wide. And will do more damage to the porter cabin at the back over the stand than it will the goal mouth, as the band now strikes up for another one of their jam sessions.
Well, they'll be playing merrily at the moment. Ben Milnes again tried his luck with his left foot. I'm afraid that was worse than the first effort. But at least he's entering the lottery, I suppose, by buying a ticket every time he tries one on his left foot.
Gwilliams gets us back underway then. Kettering losing 1-0 here at Latimer Park in this FA Cup second qualifying round, as Marcella gets the ball and it gives it to the number 10 who has done well, Leek. Loses it though in a free kick to Kettering. Foul by Leek on Mills. And it's going to be a free kick halfway in Kettering's half an hour on the left-hand side. Paul White coming out the penalty area to take this. And to say that Kettering are losing, they did play Sutton Coldfield in 83-84 and only won that one 3-2 at Rockingham Road in the glory days of the 80s. But that was a nail biter as NT wins the ball, but cleared by Sutton Coldfield. Mills wins it back. Kennedy can't do much with it, and Marcella gets through here, puts the ball to Martin. Martin puts a long ball for Okoro to get. He's got acres of space. He's going to come inside here. Storer trying to work the way back. In he comes inside now. Plays a bit of footsie. Ball comes in, blocked by Storer. Storer though can't get the ball clear. It's Okoro with it, puts the ball in and then cleared eventually by Cartwright, who's trying to find O'Connor. It won't reach him, and the Sutton Coldfield defender can only head the ball out of play. That will do. 1-0 to the Royals.
They're exploiting the space when they get the chance to at the moment, Paul. Far too many gaps in. Kettering have sort of switched back to a 3 at the back system, but there seems to be too many gaps in there at the moment between the centre halves. And they're competing well. Just want to throw in down here in front of the benches.
Kennedy not happy with that decision, but it is a throw-in to Sutton Coldfield. It's Christopher who's going to take this. He's done a short one and plays it to Sulkin, who Sulkin now chips the ball forward to O'Connor, but he can't get there. Headed by Mutton, but it only finds Meikle. Meikle turns, trips, but still has the ball. Meikle, plenty of options here. Puts a long ball, though, that is neither use nor ornament, as that goes out harmlessly for a goal kick.
He did an easier pass, Lyndon. Picked it up in the centre midfield. He sort of did two full circles, and he still had nothing open, really, apart from the ball to Danenti. But fortunately, Danenti had gone on the first circle turn and was offside if it had caught it anyway. So
17 minutes gone here at Latimer Park. It's Kettering Town 0, Sutton Coldfield 1. Quite a shock if you've just tuned in. But Kettering need to get back into this. There's a flick on there by O'Connor, who stayed down. It's a foul on O'Connor. And pointing to his foot. It's about 5 yards inside Sutton Coldfield's half on the far side. The referee signals he doesn't need attention, but it will be a free kick to the Poppies. Only change from last week's impressive victory against Alfreton is Solkin has come in for the cup-tied McGrath, and O'Connor still down on the ground, putting on his boot. There's Kelly over it, along with Scars over there, and Sutton beating down on O'Connor. Seems to be taking an eternity to put his boot back on. Still hasn't got the desired implement attached to his bony dangly parts. Oh, he's up.
Careful.
And he still isn't ready yet. Referee is looking at his watch. O'Connor's now up and trotting towards the penalty area. It's Scars with the free kick. Whistle goes. Scars looking at what to do with it. Delivers the ball into the penalty area towards Sulkin. Sulkin can't get there. He does get there, but towards Mills. Here is Meikle. Might try a shot. Does Meikle. And that just goes over. It's the B of the Brian Martin pallet stand. And Gwilliams didn't really see too much of that, but it didn't cause him any trouble, though.
Getting closer, though, with the longer range efforts. That one from Linda Meikle on his more trusty right foot. But as you say, just a few feet, a couple of feet over the bar that time. But Kettering need to get a grip of the midfield area for me. They've not really got any short to intermediate passes going at all this afternoon so far.
So Mills pumps the ball forward towards Enty, beaten to it by Mutton. Kennedy wins it back to Kettering, trying to find O'Connor. O'Connor does win the ball, gets it to Enty. Enty turns under pressure, still Enty there with it. Tries in a shot, it's a low shot, a weak shot, and that just goes by the post of Gwillams, who didn't really have to do anything except watch it go dribbling by. So it's still just that one goal in it so far, thankfully just one goal. It's a good gut strike, you'll see that on our highlights later in the week. We're not under any restriction today to put our highlights on, so we'll get those done as soon as we can. Hopefully we'll be speaking to Nicky after the game. We shall see on that, but it is a throw in on the far side. It's taken to Mills. Mills plays it square to Cartwright. Cartwright with a bit of space, moving forward. Cartwright looking up, places it right-footed, but cut out by the number 10 Leak, and Sutton Coldfield get the ball back. There's a push in the back there. Referee hasn't given that one. O'Connor's trying to flick the ball on, but Beresford gets there first, and Sutton clear the ball. It goes a long way, and Salkin is going to have to chase this one. And well, he was going to try and put it out, kept in by Kelly well to Mills. Mills switches it over this other side towards Storer. Storer pumps the ball forward. Don't think Enty will get there. He can't. And Currow can. He comes inside. Ball to Martin. Martin switches it on the far side. He finds Ben George. George plays it wide to Ryan Shaw, but robbed by Kelly. Kelly now gets the ball to Salkin. Salkin still with Meikle. Meikle. And Meikle just allows the ball. Salkin furious as Currow robs in and gives the opposition a chance to come forward, which they are doing, and a foul by Ben Mills on the far side will result in a free kick to Sutton Coldfield. While Kettering were moaning about the poor pass from Meikle, Sutton Coldfield broke away. They need to concentrate and play to the whistle and watch what they're doing, or a further goal could cause a few panic stations. It's 1-0 to the Royals, been told to place the ball back. The fans, of course, our own version of VAR is telling the referee where it should be taken from. A few choice words there I heard, which I can't repeat, but free kick then comes in from George. Low, cut out by Kelly. Kelly has Mills with him, has to use him. Mills flicks the ball through, but nobody there other than Christopher, who's moved on with that side. He flicks the ball onto Currow, cut out by Salkin. Salkin chips it, gives the ball away though, and Ryan Shaw nips in, does well, but gives the ball to Kelly. Kelly hooks it over here to Meikle. Meikle, nobody with him, traps it, does well under pressure. He's got Storer with him. Storer gets the ball, he's overlapping now. Storer with a bit of room to put one in, puts it in low towards near post, back post. It goes by everybody, any touch, and that would have been the equaliser, but it goes whippingly by the goalkeeper for a goal kick.
Kettering's best moment by far this afternoon. Good hold-up play there from Lyndon Meikle, releasing Storer, and what a wonderful cross it was. Any kind of touch, either from a defender or from Daniel Enty on the front post, would have gone in surely, but it beat them all and went through to a goal kick. Kettering have made an early tactical change. They've gone to a flat back four. Marcus Kelly now is slotted in at left back, and Brett Salkin has moved into the midfield area. So obviously Nicky and Luke have been concerned about the gaps that the Royals have been finding in between that midfield area and the centre half positions.
Free kick quickly taken. Cartwright moves forward, puts the ball over here towards us, and Gary Storer over the halfway line flicks it through to a good run by Enty. Only O'Connor in the middle as Storer goes to help out Enty. Still Enty with the ball to Gary Storer, who's now inside the penalty area, trying to get the ball in, gets it to Enty. Enty puts the ball in towards O'Connor. O'Connor heads it that, and that comes off. I think that was Brett Salkin. He heads the ball straight at Gwillams, who caught it on the line, went down. It was a good effort, but well saved by the Royals' Lewis Gwillams.
We're just talking about moving Brett Salkin into midfield. That is what he will give you, as well as defensive capabilities. He will get into the box, get his head on crosses. Fortunately for that one, right at the goalkeeper, but more positive from Kettering.
It is at Sutton Coldfield though. We get the ball to Okoro misplaces it. Kennedy trying to close him down, but he beats him quite easily. This tricky number 11 flicks the ball through, gets a good 1-2. Storer can't stop the 1-2. Does well Storer, and clears it, but only to the left back, who does a back header. And a bit of head tennis here. The ball's gone out of play and then thrown out of play by the number 3. That should be a word with the referee. Luke Graham going ballistic down here as the number 3 threw the ball out of play. And that should be a booking, really, and is. Well, another piece of stupidity from a player.
Yeah, the linesman's called it correctly. The same as, I suppose, what he did with the first one. It's a consistent approach. The ball had clearly gone out before the left back decided to help it over the back of the dugout. So, yep.
Well, if we're going to waste time at this stage, they've got a long way to go. That's all I can say. But Ben Milnes, with the ball, gets it to the far side where Scars gets Kelly for a run. Kelly on the far side. He's got Milnes with him. Still Kelly, though, down this wing, trying to weave in. Ball comes in towards the back post. It goes harness over for a goal kick. I thought it got sliced for a corner, but my eyes obviously deceived me. And it's a goal kick.
No, it might have took a bit of a bobble. It sort of looked like a bobbly cross. To be fair, the pitch does look, well, I know for a fact it's very hard.
Yes, I walked on it prior to kick-off, bone hard.
Yep.
The rain going to come a bit too late to give any lushness to the ground today. But Cartwright having a battle here and loses out. Ball comes through to the number 9 and Paul White has to come rushing out. Marseille, the goal scorer, looks a bit of a threat going forward. He's a tall, muscular player and has given Kettering's defence a bit of a well, looking at, really, isn't he? He's playing quite well.
Yeah, quite a few Sutton players are playing quite well, including the band behind the goal. But I'll say Kettering have not really been on the wavelength, certainly from a defensive point of view so far this afternoon.
Well, Enty breaking away into it now towards O'Connor. Shoots. It's a deflection. That should be a corner, and it is. Corner to be taken by the Turnstiles. Corner flag. Ben Milnes goes over. Last week against Alfreton, every corner caused the Alfreton Town defence problems. We could do with some of that this afternoon. Kettering's first corner of the game. Can Brett Solkin add to his 6 goals in 4 games in the FA Cup? He's already got 11 goals throughout his career in the famous competition. Ben Milnes floats one in. It comes towards back post. That comes from O'Connor, punched out by the goalkeeper. Cleared by Martin, only towards Meikle. Meikle plays a long shot, and it's deflected again for a corner. It was going wide. Goalkeeper didn't know that, and it came off Ben George and goes for Kettering's second corner.
That was a real scuffy strike
Short
away.
one been taken back to O'Connor, back to Milnes, who's been pushed out wide. Milnes now comes in right footed, puts one in. There's a melee in there. Headed out, but only towards Meikle. Meikle on the edge of the penalty area. Plays it to Kennedy, but it's a poor ball and giving Kennedy no chance, and the ball is allowed to go out of play for a goal kick. Chance gone.
Well, up until that misplaced pass from Meikle, there was a good bit of pressure from Kettering. And yeah, they look as though had a few runners on the corner in. The goalkeeper looked a little bit uncomfortable with what was before him, but they survived that one.
Well, it's underway, and Marcella again is causing some problems, but cleared by Cartwright. And there's a late challenge on Cartwright's referee. Is going to bring that back, I think. Yes, he is.
Free kick.
Going to be a free kick. Paul White is going to take that. Glorious up here on the gantry. You wouldn't believe on Tuesday night we were in winter wear, and today we're in summer wear. Been taken quickly. Cartwright gets the ball from Paul White. He flicks it through towards Enty. Enty, though, stands no chance with that, and that arrives at Gwillams, who has to pick the ball up as Enty was closing him down. Gwillams thought about delivering the ball early, but doesn't. The long ball here towards Marseille, but beaten to it by Cartwright, headed on by Kennedy. But George wins that, gets the ball to Okoro. Okoro here on this left wing, causing Sora a few problems. back to Mutton. He placed it forward, and offside is Marseille, who is in an advanced position. And again, they're taking the gamble and leaving him up front on his own. And you never know, one of these gambles may well pay off. It's paid off already once for Marseille. Messiah? He's having the Messiah.
He stopped it. As far as Kettering's concerned, he's definitely a naughty boy. They haven't.
He'll probably return to Messiah if they win this one 1-0, but it is Kelly on the far side, squares it to Salkin on the halfway line. Salkin into the Sutton Coldfield half. He's racing down here. Nosebleed time for Salkin, but gets it to Storer, to Meikle. Meikle turns. Salkin's continued to go forward. Still Meikle. Good run here by Meikle. Tries to get it in. It comes low towards Storer. Storer goes down. Penalty. Yeah, that's a foul right on the byline. And I'm not sure. It's Mutton, is it? James Mutton sliced him down, and NT gets a chance to bring the scores level. He scored last week from the spot at the same end in the same sort of sunshine. Let's hope that he can do it again. Of course, he's scored one. I'm not going to say it until after this one. But he lines it up. And let's see how this is taken. Referee trotting back. Everybody on the penalty area. Whistle blows. NT steps up here, takes it. Scores! 1-1. Goalkeeper goes the right way. It was low. And Daniel NT scored two now from the spot and missed one. But 1-1 here at Latimer Park.
Well, I thought for a horrible moment Williams got a hand to that. He guessed right. He went down to the corner, but the ball nestled in that corner and Kettering a level. And that was really just an unnecessary challenge there from Sutton Coldfield's point of view in the box. Kettering were going nowhere, back to goal, but gratefully accepted the penalty and gratefully converted back in the game.
So it's Kettering Town 1, Sutton Coldfield Town 1, and NT gets his fourth goal of the season in first-class games, but it is Leek on the far side. He goes down. It's a corner this time to Leek, responding straight away with positive play. And it will be the number 11, Okoro, to take this on the far side. Should hold up in the wind. It's well, we're quite high up, so it is quite windy up here. Not sure what it's like down on the ground level, but it's whipped in now. It's hanging in the air, headed by Mutton, cleared, and only O'Connor up front. O'Connor can't win the ball though, and Christopho does. It's back to the Ryan Shaw. Ryan Shaw trying to find Marseille's beaten to it. Milnes clears for Kettering, gets it to Enty, the goal scorer. Enty takes another touch, goes forward. He's got O'Connor and Kennedy with him up front, puts the ball in towards the back post. It's too high though for O'Connor and goes out for a goal kick. I think O'Connor would have needed the side of Peter's Crouch +2 to have got anywhere near that.
He would have been standing on Peter Crouch's shoulders to get a header on that one, which would be difficult in itself. But that really playing a lot better. Kettering have got themselves level in this game, which is a bit of a relief. But
I'm sure the chairman will be delighted and the owner will be delighted.
Well, this is it. I mean,
it's all about money at these sort of stages of the competition.
Absolutely, prize money. It plays a big, important part in the coffers of a non-league football club.
It is. It's 6,500 for the winners and around 2,000 for the losers today. So there's a bit of money at stake in this.
Also, if you win, you get at least the losers pot from the next round.
Exactly, and you never know. It could get to a first round, which is 18,000 if you win that. But that's dreams, isn't it? At the moment, Kettering haven't been in the first round since for about 8 seasons, I believe. So having got there 51 times in their history, but historically, the last few seasons not been kind to Kettering in the FA Cup. But it is Marseille breaking away, but he fouled Kelly. Not happy with that. The band silent at the moment. Free kick taken quickly. It's Cartwright with it. Plays it wide to Storer, but it's pushed back to Kennedy, who then is fouled by the number 4 from behind. That's Joe Hassel. And it's a foul on Kennedy, and he's going into the book is Hassel. Management of Sutton Coldfield not happy with that decision. The cries of how is that a booking, not even a foul? Don't know what he's watching, but certainly not the game we are. From behind and late.
Drinks break time.
Yeah, we could do one of those, but we're not going to get one. If you just joined us, it's Kettering Town 1, Sutton Coldfield Town 1. Kettering coming from behind, but through a penalty by Daniel Enty to equalise. You're listening to Poppy's TV Audio, sponsored by Elgood's Brewery. Traditional beers from Cambridgeshire and Wisbech, available in the clubhouse and various venues around Kettering and the countryside. Nothing happening at the moment as the players now are coming back onto the pitch from the drinks break. Kennedy is down here waiting to go back on. The referee is looking around. Everyone's all over the place at the moment. There's no structure to this as Paul White's going to address the ball. Having a word with the referee. He's not sure what's going on here as White gets us back underway towards NT. Might be too heavy though. Headed out by Halsall, only towards Ben Mills. Mills puts one in and high and wide of Gwilliam's right hand post. And getting a few words of encouragement from the fans behind the goal there is Williams.
Yeah, three attempts now from Ben Mills. Is he getting closer? Well, slightly compared to the last effort, so we're moving in the right direction. But
another 2 foot down and wide will be on target, won't we? But well, a good chest down there, but it is Cartwright gets the ball away. He's given it away though straight away to Martin. And he has to play the ball on the far side to George. George pumps it in towards Marseille, but headed out by Scars to Ben Mills. Mills to O'Connor, chests it down well. Got two round him, beaten to it though, and cleared by Beresford. Kennedy doing well, and there's a high foot there. And again, the Sutton Coldfield staff on our left-hand side can't believe the referee has given that, but it was a very high boot. Could have caused some danger if it connected with a Kettering Town head. It hasn't, didn't, and Cartwright gets us back underway with Storer on this right-hand side. He plays it low towards Enty. Enty turns two round him. Still Enty gets the ball to Meikle. Meikle to Mills. Mills flicks it through to O'Connor, who is onside, and gets a corner from it as it comes off at Beresford. Good work there from both players. Beresford thinks it's a goal kick, but it is in fact a corner. And Marcus Kelly trots over, Gary, to take this one.
Yep, come on, Marcus. You say last Saturday there was all good corners all the way from left and right flanks. Let's put some pressure on Mr. Gwilliams in this goal again. Luke Graham barking instructions below.
Kelly then whips this one in near post, headed on by Solkin, headed out, and it's going to beat. Solkin turns, it comes off, cleared anywhere by Sutton Coldfield. It's going over towards Leek on the far side, but Ben Mills has to head the ball out. But good work from Sutton Coldfield considering they're under pressure. Got the ball to Leek, and Mills had to take evasive action. And the play now in Kettering's half as we're coming up to the last 10 minutes of this first half. Not been thoroughly entertaining. It's not been a bad game, but
bit of bitty game.
A bitty game, yeah. It's a hard pitch, of course, so free-flowing football will be difficult on this surface. But it's 1-1 as Ben Mills comes away with the ball. Not much on for him, but he finds Enty in the centre of the park. Enty plays it out wide to Storer. Storer plays it back to Mills, who's now gone into the Sutton Coldfield half. Plays it out wide to Kelly on the Meikle on the far side. Meikle whips one in, nobody there. And the goalkeeper Williams goes down in his 6-yard area and milks the silent applause from the Sutton Coldfield band. And that's a poor ball there by the number 3, kicks it straight out of play. Throwing quickly taken to Kettering to Kennedy. Kennedy hooks it towards O'Connor, not going to get there. And that goes out for another Kettering Town throw-in. Very bitty, as you say at the moment, Gary.
Yeah, neither team particularly stringing too many passes away, but to be fair, it's Kettering that since that goal went in have been at least having the attacking intent, but finding it hard at the moment just to unlock a stubborn Sutton Coldfield side.
Yeah, Scars with it on the far side, plays it back to Paul White, who should release Cartwright. He does. Cartwright moving forward. Middle of the field is Ben Mills. He's got the ball, but under pressure. It's back with Cartwright. Will do well to keep this in. He has done. Plays it down the byline towards Storer, but Christopho gets there first. Won by Connor Kennedy. Headed again to Kennedy. Back to Storer. Storer flicks it through towards O'Connor, but it goes out of play for a goal kick. Well shielded by Beresford. And goalkeeper Gwillams gets the ball from the Kettering Town fans in that Brian Martin Pallets stand. And just in case there is a draw in this game, the replay will take place at Coles Lane, Sutton, Coldfield on Tuesday night. That's an artificial surface where we've played before in the FA Cup against Romulus a few seasons ago, and
We won that one.
we did win that one 3-0, I think it was. And if I remember correctly, not one of the better 3G surfaces that I've seen.
I don't think it's a UEFA B pitch.
Looked to me like a bowls green that had been reused. But,
Yeah, it's yes, it's not one of the top ones that you expect probably in today's game, but Sutton Coldfield won't mind that. Gives them a bit of an advantage at home, then they'll take it.
Gwillams has the ball in his penalty area, delivers it left-footed towards Storer, who wins the header to Cartwright. Cartwright to Kennedy, hooks it forward towards Enty. Enty's flick finds Ben Mills. Ben Mills, can he feed through Meikle? He can. Meikle with a bit of space inside the penalty area. He's got Mills with him, puts one in towards back post, and both O'Connor and Salkin missed the floated pass by Meikle. It went harmlessly wide.
Too high, unfortunately. And that's been the problem with Kettering. They've got around the box. They've managed to manoeuvre the way to sort of the last 20 yards, and then the final ball has just been, well, it's been lacking in quality, really. It's been too high, too long.
41 minutes of this first half gone, I think, and it is 1-1. As the ball is back in play. Foul on Ben Mills. There will be a free kick just inside Kettering's half. Kettering went a goal behind early doors. Scored by Marseille for Sutton Coldfield. Got an equaliser through a Daniel Enty penalty. Salkin gets the ball to Enty. Enty's got Storer out wide as a mark. Storer comes in, should put the ball in better. There's Enty, and he's poked his shot over the bar. Connor looking a bit distraught in that 6-yard box. But
again, it was just a final ball. Storer, it was just a bit behind Daniel Enty. He had to reach for it, and that's what caused him to get the shot high. So it's fine margins. That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, we're coming up to half-time as the fans make their way to go into Clubhouse for refreshments. We're back underway. Cartwright under pressure, but it comes off Cartwright for thrown under pressure from Marseille as the band wakes up. Probably get a rendition of Samba T by Santana if we're lucky. Christopho with the throw-in. Won by Kennedy, and then Mills loses out to Martin. But won by Kennedy. Won then again by Martin. It's nip and tuck here. Kennedy to Storer. Storer flicks the ball through. O'Connor will be offside, but he's not as Beresford heads it back. Flicked on to Mills, who does well. Gets it towards Kelly on the far side. Kelly now with a bit of space to run at. He's got nobody else with him, though, at the moment. Has to come back. Tackled by Leak. And still Kelly with it. Does well to fend off Leak. Everybody now back in their correct positions. So it's back with Scars. And now it's with Cartwright. Pushes it forward to Kennedy. Triangle's being played here by Kettering. Pythagoras would be pleased as Meikle now goes forward. Flicks it through a poor ball though from Meikle. And it's cut away by Leak, who's only got Marseille with him. Pumps the ball through. Cartwright chests it down to stop him from progressing forward. Meikle now in the centre of the park. Pumps it forward for Ben Mills. Can Mills keep this in? He's under pressure from Mutton. Mutton gets there first. Brings down Ben Mills, but I think it's going to be a throw-in and not a free kick.
Another unnecessary challenge from
It is
Mr.
a free
Mutton.
kick. Yep. He wants to be
Over the
very
far
careful
side.
here, Mutton, or he could find himself in an early bath.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have baths now, do they?
An
early shower.
Cheeks bath. Yeah, Ben Mills was going nowhere, but now he's got a chance to put a free kick in.
Good time to score a goal just before half time. Well, any time's a good time to score a goal, but it always seems just before half time. It comes in here, flicked on by O'Connor, headed out though. It's going to go back to Ben Milnes, who can't keep it in, so that will be a throw in to the Poppies. Referee takes a cursory glance at his watch. It's with Enty, who turns. Enty from the throw-in, still with the ball, plays it back to Meikle. Meikle, not a lot on for him at the moment. Might try a shot, does. It comes off the number 8 Martin, and he's put out a play by Mutton for a throw-in on the far side. The Burton Park Wanderer stands. If you have been to Latimer Park, you'll know where that is. And the referee wanted a new ball, but the other one is returned. Not a lot of rushing to get this throw-in taken. It is Kelly with it to Milnes, back to Kelly. Kelly turns, plays it back to Scars. Scars pumps it forward towards Kennedy. He plays a right-footed ball, a great ball to Storer on this right-hand side. Storer plays it to Ben Milnes. He's got a bit of space. He might float one in. Advances forward. Enty asks for it towards the back post. Nobody there, though. Headed out by a Sutton Coldfield defender, only towards Connor Kennedy. Connor Kennedy, not certain, not going to try a shot. He is. It's low. And a good shot and punch save, diving save by Gwillams. It was probably about 30 yards out, that shot. It was low. It was the drive, and the goalkeeper did well.
We've had quite a few shots from just outside the box that have gone high or wide. That was well outside of the box, 35 yards, I reckon, and great strike on target, forcing Gwilliams to make the save.
I'd have thought a catch would have been easier than a punch dive, to be honest, but there we go.
With enough pace, I think he did the right thing, got something behind it.
So corner comes in from Kelly. It's a poor corner, though, and it goes out for a throw. It's kept in by Kelly. Referee says no, it's out, and that'll be a throw in. Kennedy with the throwing, gets it to Ben Milnes. Milnes, right-footed, puts it in towards the back post. Nobody there except the goalkeeper, Gwillams, who goes down with the catch. As we're heading towards the interval, I make it 45 minutes are virtually up. And it all depends now on how much added time there should be. Been a couple of little incidents, nothing major. 2 extra minutes, I've just heard from the lino. Mind you, he wouldn't know anyway. But it is Meikle, plays the ball back to Kelly. Kelly finds O'Connor. O'Connor chips it up towards Salkin. He heads it forward, but it's too heavy. And the ball goes with the wind to Gwillams, who takes it on the penalty spot. Rolls it in front of him. And yes, we were correct. It was 2 minutes of added time. 1-1 here at Latimer Park. Sutton Coldfield taking the lead early doors before Daniel Enty's 4th goal of the season through the penalty spot equalised things for Nicky Eden's side, and the ball has just rolled out now harmlessly for a goal kick. So very hot conditions down there. 24 degrees, I believe it's going to be in certain parts of the country today.
Costa del Kettering.
Yes, it's not 24 degrees up here. That's one good thing about being on the gantry. When it is baking hot, we do get that slight breeze, known as a gale force in January and February. But, Connor Kennedy wins the header. It goes towards Enty. Enty takes it, then he's fouled in the process. And may have taken one in the gentleman's region. I'm not quite sure there. He's counting them, I think, at the moment. But certainly looks a bit winded. He's got up, so it can't have been too bad. This should be the last action of the first half. The referee moves the ball back. Let's hope we can get the free kick taken before he blows the whistle. And let's hope that it's taken quickly. Referee hadn't said play, but he's allowed it to go. Enty to Kelly. Kelly has to play the ball back, though, to Milnes. Milnes squares it to Meikle. Meikle puts it in towards Storer, headed out. There's Connor Kennedy, heads it back to Kelly. Kelly inside, left-footed, does a little dribble, does well, comes inside, but loses the ball, gets it, regains it, does some fancy footwork, loses it, and cleared by Sutton Coldfield. Referee blows for half-time, and that is all the action from the first half. Gary Foreman, 1-1.
Yeah, bitty half. Kettering were all at sea really defensively early on. They plugged the gap, they moved Brett into midfield, and since then, to be fair, Sutton have not really had any attacking threat. But Kettering, yeah, most of the players are not on the same page at the moment from an attacking point of view. The quality of attacks that we saw a week ago are just not there. So it gives a chance, though, to Nicky Eden to go in at level and talk to the players and get them motivated and get them sorted out for the second half.
Well, we're going to take a 15-minute break now, get refreshments down in these hot conditions, and we're back in the second half for this further coverage of this FA Cup second qualifying round here at Latton Park. 1-1. Welcome back to Latimer Park. This Emirates FA Cup second qualifying round. The current score is Kettering Town 1, Sutton Coldfield Town 1. The visitors going ahead 1-0 early doors, and then Kettering equalising through a Dan Enty penalty. We do believe there's going to be a substitution made, and it looks like that Brett Solkin is going to be replaced by Elliot Hodge. So Brett Solkin won't be adding to his FA Cup statistics anymore in today's game. Let's hope that he's in the hat for the next round on Monday. Otherwise, there's a replay on Tuesday if the scores remain the same at Coles Lane on Tuesday. As I say, we have played there before against Romulus in the FA Cup a couple of seasons ago. Teams coming out, very hot conditions here at Latimer Park. Very nice to say that. Even on the gantry here, we're in summer wear. On Tuesday night, we were back to our winter wear with parkas and hats, gloves, water bottles. But today, shorts, t-shirt, flip-flops, order of the day. And very nice it is too. There's Phil Wade, who's done an excellent job with the mascots at half-time with his penalties. As the Kettering Town under-7s gave us the penalty display down at the tin hat end. Referee coming out. Players still adjusting to which side of the park they're going to be playing on. As I say, Kettering are making one substitution at the moment. It's going to be Elliot Hodge, who had an impressive game on Tuesday night against Cutner in that 5-1 Northants Senior Cup win. He's going to come on in place of Brett Solkin, so there'll be a bit of rejigging at the back. I'm not sure if anything is wrong with Brett. We'll find out a bit later if there is. But he's not in the dugout at the moment, and I can't see him on the far side. But there we go. It's going to be Elliot Hodge then for Brett Solkin. It's going to be Kettering kicking from right to left towards the tin hat. And where all the Kettering Town fans are housed. The band, I believe, has moved. Has it moved? I can't see. Can't see any instruments anywhere. There's a few instruments behind the goal, but can't see any instruments, musical instruments behind there. So I'm not sure where the Sutton Coldfield Town band has gone, but we're ready to start this second half. It's Daniel Enty over the ball. He's going to play it back to Mills, which he does. And he squares it to Kelly. Kelly squares it to Connor Kennedy. Kennedy plays it wide to Storer. Storer to Enty to Scars, chests it down. A bit of space to play. He plays it out wide to Kelly. Kelly plays it back to Scars. Scars takes a touch, pumps it forward left-footed, but does well to Enty. Enty turns, plays it square to Elliot Hodge. Elliot Hodge's first touch, he does a double shuffle, tries a shot, and that just goes wide of the post. But Elliot Hodge there showing intent straight away in the second half.
Yep, Elliot Hodge has gone to sort of a right wing position. Lyndon Meikle has moved further, more of a left wing position. Just the two in midfield, Mills and Connor Kennedy. So Kettering looking with that tactical change, assuming it is a tactical change, to make a more attacking attempt the second half.
Well, a ball won there by Halsall. Flicks the ball through, but it only goes towards Paul White, who comes out of his 6-yard box, collects the ball, advances towards the edge of his penalty area. Still with the ball in his hand, puts it down on the park, and gets us back underway. Ball played long towards Enty. Enty doesn't win this one, Mutton wins it, and then it's won by the number 9 Marseille, the goal scorer, but he loses out. And Storer plays it wide to Elliot Hodge. Hodge on the wing with his pace gets brought down. Referee flags, and that should be a free kick on the far side as the ball is kicked away again. Referee this time decides not to book anybody. The ball with Ben Mills now from the free kick. He hooks it forward. It's a poor ball though, and it's just cleared anywhere by Sutton. They've had a little bit more time to do more with that ball, but it goes out for a throw-in on the far side by the halfway line. Ball is now into the burger bar. There's some sauce being put on that, I think. Yep. Cartwright putting the ball where it should be taken from. It's just inside the Coldfield half. Now the band is with us, I can hear it. Flicked on by Hodge to O'Connor. O'Connor flicking it back to Storer on the right-hand side over at the other side there. Put it in left-footed towards the back post. Headed out by them, so it comes in. Here's a scramble. Enty gets the ball back to Connor Kennedy. He can't control it. Tries again. Kennedy 1-2, hits it wide. It was going miles wide, but it deflected in off a Sutton goalkeeper. They clear it harshly, and Reese Leake gets it clear for the visitors. It's hooked back into the sky and the wind taking it. Currow gets the ball back to the number 10 Leake, but Kettering win the ball, lose it again to Marseille. Marseille turns. Certainly is a dangerous player, but a good little flick there by Cartwright onto Marseille. It's a Kettering town throw in. Been nice if Kennedy could have got something on that.
Yeah, it was Sutton Coldfield's turn to be all at sea in defence there. Couldn't clear the ball, and it looked as though Connor Kennedy was going to get a shot on his left foot, and he twisted back inside onto his right, but his eventual shot would have hit the corner flag if it had not been deflected again.
Well, Mills gets the ball towards Meikle, but the little flick on from Meikle couldn't find Kelly. It was hit with too much pace, and that will be a throw-in to the Royals. And Ben George going to collect the ball as some of the Sutton substitutes begin to do the obligatory warm-up exercises. Ben George with this throw-in just in front of the Sutton Coldfield dugout, being told to go back. Ignores it, gets the ball in, headed on by Marseille. It's towards Leake. Leake being offended by Cartwright. Leake doing well, but it comes off Cartwright, and that will go for a Leake throw on our right-hand side. It's towards the corner flag on our right-hand side, towards the Brian Martin Pallet stand. And it's going to be Ben George with this throw-in again. Seemed to have been more of the action in the second half already than he did in the first half. But he signals with a movement for him. Still has the ball in his hand. He gets it to Currow, but intercepted. Back to George though. Left-footed comes out, cut out by Kennedy. And O'Connor gets there first, does well Kennedy. O'Connor, sorry, flicks it out to Elliot Hodge. Allows it to bounce in front of him. Takes a turn, he's inside the Sutton half, pumps it forward towards Enty. Enty running through but obstructed, and adjudged to have fouled Mutton in the process. Good work there from Kettering.
Yeah, good ball through from Hodge there. I thought Enty was going to get onto it, but it was good defending actually. We'll have to give some credit there to the number 6, Beresford, I think it was, for Sutton Coldfield, who positioned his body well and forced down Enty to pull him back. So a correct decision from the referee.
Not often we say that, is it?
No, it's not, but you know, credit where credit's due.
Well, we're throwing on the far side. Storer with it on the turnstiles. He's still with the ball, nothing happening for him, no running off the ball yet. The crowd get a bit impatient, cymbals are going by the band. On to Enty, flicks it on, but Mutton just hoofed the ball high into the sky, headed on by Cartwright to Kennedy, but it's loose, ball's out. Back to Christopherson over the other side. Here comes the number 8 here. Martin puts the ball in, cleared by Scars to Hodge on the far side. Back to Storer to Hodge, playing very tight, Kettering in their own half, need to clear the ball, which they've done. Storer towards Enty. Enty chests it down, but not sure what that is. It's like a free kick. Handball by O'Connor. Didn't know you could have a hand in the middle of your back. But anyway, the outcome is a free kick just inside Kettering's half on the far side. Comes in from Christophou, and Paul White has to come racing out, which he does, collects the ball, and he goes towards the edge of his penalty area as Cartwright's doing one of his laces up. So White
in no rush.
Getting a bit of advice from the Sutton Coldfield fans that we can get on with it, I think, with the terms. But Kelly retrieves the ball for Kettering. Can't keep that in though. It goes out for a throw-in. Taken towards Marseille, but well won by Scars. Kelly turns, hooks it towards O'Connor. O'Connor pushed in the back but gets the ball towards Enty. Enty and Beresford with it. Enty wins the ball. He's got Hodge with him. Hodge puts the ball in. It's a poor ball that goes behind O'Connor. Cleared by George anywhere, and that goes out for a throw. But a good enterprising move from Kettering from defence into attack, and a better ball would have given O'Connor a better chance of getting a strike on target.
Yeah, same story as first half. Better ball than the last ball, because up until then the approach play was pretty good. We just need to improve on that last ball.
It comes in, here's Hodge, here's O'Connor on the line, can't get there, cleared by Coldfield in towards Connor Kennedy. Tries when it's blocked, then cleared. Hoofed anywhere by Ryan Shaw. It's a long clearance. It's going to go out for a throw-in right by the corner flag of all places. It's like one of those... was it a goal kick, is it, in American football, where they just punt it anywhere towards the end and it went right down to the furthest place forward.
It's more like the old Rob Andrew, isn't it? Keep him in the corner, you know, kick to touch, pin them right next to their own try line. It's as the rugby started today, or last night or whenever it was, so the World Cup, we might as well talk about that for a second or two.
And that's it done, thank goodness. And we are back with Ben George. It's Svan Marseille on the far side. He is being challenged by Kennedy, where the ball has gone back to Ben George, who plays it to Gwillams, the goalkeeper. He pumps it forward. Cartwright wins that. Then Kennedy wins his header. Hodge somehow keeps it in. A poor defensive header there, though, by Sutton Coldfield. Gives Meikle a chance to run at them. Meikle, he's got nobody here. He plays the ball wide for the overlapping Kelly, who's got plenty of space to run here. Kelly on this left-hand side comes inside, uses his left foot, gets it towards Enty in the penalty area. Enty, nobody with him, though. Has to play the ball back to Meikle. Meikle might try a shot. We know he can score from this range. Decides not to. Feeds it through to O'Connor, who's onside. Yes, O'Connor's onside. Down the byline. Gets it back to Kelly. Kelly weighs up the options, puts it in low towards Milnes. Milnes inside, fires, shoots, blocked, and that should go for a corner. Another good move, or series of moves from the Poppies.
Yeah, Sutton Coldfield, plenty of men behind the ball.
Ben Mills then with this corner as the fans find their voice for the first time this afternoon, and now they've stopped, but in comes Ben Mills towards the back post. It's too heavy, and that should be easily cleared by Ryan. Sure it is, but he only clears it for a throw-in on the far side. He had more time to get rid of the ball, but obviously panicked. It is Hodge, and again it comes off the number 7 for another throw-in. Bit of clear lane in the background now from the band as the ball's put towards Connor Kennedy. And in comes Hodge, jinking by 1, jinking by 2. Hodge still jinking by. He's got Marcus Kelly squared, which he's used. Marcus Kelly now left-footed. He's got O'Connor in front of him. Goes one way, goes to the puts one in. It's a floater, and a good strike by Kelly, taken at the far post high by goalkeeper Gwillams. And his clearance has got Marseille up front, and Paul White jumps high as the ball bounces high. He releases Scars, and Scars goes away.
4-2-1 attendance, Paul.
I actually did forecast 401, so I'm getting better at this forecasting, Lark. So poor attendance, in my opinion, there for this FA Cup game. 421 here at Latimer Park. And when you consider that Sutton Coldfield have brought some fans as well.
Fans and a band.
And a mistake there by Cartwright as Marseille weaves his way through, but Cartwright redeems himself, get the ball back to Milnes, and Milnes comes away for the Poppies. Ball through to O'Connor. O'Connor's got Enty with him. He's got Hodge on the far side. Hodge has been given the ball. A good ball from O'Connor. Hodge now has a chance to weave his magic. He comes in with his right foot. Comes in, tries a shot, brought down. Referee lets play go on as Kelly gets the ball from the loose one from Hodge. He finds Meikle. Meikle looks up, pumps the ball in towards Kennedy. Kennedy gets there, and it was more of a half-hearted effort really, as goalkeeper Gwillams didn't really have too much direction to save in that one.
No, but Kettering started to get all of the ball again in this half, and not really created too many clean cut chances, it has to be said, but you'd hope that the pressure will begin to mount a little bit. St Coldfield maybe begin to tire a bit sooner than the Poppies, but at the moment it's one-way traffic, but no clear chances at the end of it.
Well, Hodge gets the ball away again for Kelly, which seems to be the movement in this second half. Hodge, who played so well on Tuesday night, playing well at the moment, gets the ball to Enty. Enty, good square ball, but intercepted. So cries of handball, nothing given. Meikle intercepts back with Kennedy. Puts it out wide to Storer. Storer comes inside, gets in a bit of a tangle, does well. Still Kennedy with it, inside the penalty area. Kennedy still... Storer still going through, and somehow Sutton we get a lucky break there and clear the ball when it should have gone for a corner. I'm getting me Kennedys and me O'Connors mixed up.
Well, it's easily done. Substitution for Sutton Coldfield. Number 7, Ryan Shaw, is leaving the pitch, and number 12 is Edwin Ayancorda is coming on.
Yes, another interesting name coming on. Must be all done in countdown, I think it is. Consonant, consonant, vowel, vowel, consonant. But ball back in play though from that throw, and it's Storer on the far side with it. Plays it forward, but intercepted by Sutton Coldfield. Storer gets it back, does well. Storer under pressure, then he's fouled, and there's a free kick on the far side, and cries of get a yellow card out. So a free kick right by the little stand on the other side of Latimer Park from our gantry. Referee telling them to get 10 yards. If that's 10 yards, I'm a Dutchman. Paul van der Koek, it will be known as, but it's been paced out now. Still looks like about 6 yards to me, but there we have it. It's Elliot Hodge over the ball with Kelly, leaving it for Kelly. Kelly, left-footed, whips it in, back post. Goalkeeper, though, easily catches that, and trying to get a book in there. The goalie, I don't like to see that. Throwing the ball in the face of Marcus Kelly and hoping the referee would see that as intrusion, but nothing given. A high goal kick with the win, cut out by Ben Milnes, kept in by Marcus Kelly on this right hand side. Kelly plays it towards Meikle, 1-2. Good football from Kettering. Triangle's looking good. Here's Kelly, goes forward, then he's muscled out of it, and Sutton Coldfield get a chance to break. The ball put forward towards the goal scorer Marseille, but Paul White, alert, comes out, collects the ball, bowls it out to Storer on the far side, and Kettering mount another attack going forward as Ben Milnes, been quite influential in this game, puts a wonderful ball over here towards Marcus Kelly. Kelly out wide to Meikle. Meikle takes a heavy touch but traps it, does well, plays it back to Ben Milnes, who's gone in the centre of the park. Milnes, still Mills with it, threads the ball through to Enty, but he can't get there. Cleared anywhere by Sutton Coldfield. Kettering to be careful here. Is a bad movement here. Paul White comes out, does well. That header there by Cartwright went towards Marseille, and it would have been unlucky for Kettering, but that's what happens when you are struggling. But Paul White came out, averted the danger, and Kettering come away with the ball with Storer on the far side. I thought it was all going to go pear-shaped there, didn't you?
Well, yeah, well, Scar's had to sort of come back around Cartwright, and you thought number 9's in again here, but as you say, Paul White alert, quick off his line, gathers the ball, no danger.
Enty chests it down towards Hodge, but between them they lose the ball, and the Sutton Coldfield approaches, lump the ball forward to the number 9 and hope that Kettering are caught out. Seems to be the way forward for them in this second half. They're playing with the wind. Often harder to play with the wind than against it, I think. But it's down by the corner flag, cleared by the Poppies defence towards Enty, who turns. He's got 3 round and the ball's back with Meikle. He chests it. Kelly's out here wide. It goes behind Kelly, who then loses the ball and couldn't trap it. And that goes out for a throw-in. Hard look there on Kelly, who looked a bit exasperated by that misfortune. Then George with the throw-in. Kelly intercepts, but Leak has got the ball. He does well here. The number 10, he comes in the penalty area, but gets a foot in. Just Kelly comes in and off the near post by Cartwright. That could have gone anywhere. It's a corner to Sutton Coldfield, and first of this second half for them. Little chance there for the visitors.
Yeah, it's just an indication that Kettering have had most of the play in this half, but Sutton Coldfield do still possess a threat, and we need to be on our guard defensively to avoid future embarrassment. But number 11, Akuro, is going to take the corner, and it comes. it's a pull, unfortunately for Kettering. The Gary Storer is able to clear only as far as Ben George on this near side. George swaps passes with Halsall, looking to play in on his left foot, which he does, and lovely tackle there from Cartwright, I think it was. A very important tackle, because that was looking scary for Kettering as well.
Well, it was a very good move, but Kettering have got the break on here with Enty racing away from that bit of action, and Elliot Hodge is caught out, can't get there. Going back to that, yes, you're right. If the number 12 had got there, I think that would have been 2-1. The interception or instruction there from Cartwright was very good.
It was.
Very good indeed.
Went to ground, he had to get to the ball.
If he'd have missed time, that would have been a penalty.
It would have been a penalty, yep.
And but from that break, Kettering had a chance, but Elliot Hodge wasn't aware of it, and it has gone. The ball flicked on, as I say, with the wind, travelling further to Scars. Scars turns. Plays it square to Kelly. Kelly towards Lyndon Meikle. Meikle turns, plays it back to Ben Milnes. Ben Milnes back to Kelly. Kelly. Ball into O'Connor, and it comes off Ben George, but it finds Meikle. Meikle can't control that, and that goes out for a throw-in. George with the ball. Hasn't been taken yet. Nothing much on for him. Been taken. Nothing happened there. Marseille chests it down, but Scars gets in there. Back to the number 12, Ankara. He hooks it wide, and it goes to the far side. Storer allowed to go out for a throw. And if you've just joined us, it's Kettering Town 1, Sutton Coldfield Town 1. All goals scored in the first half. You're listening to Poppy's TV audio, sponsored by Elgood's Brewery. This Emirates FA Cup second qualifying round here at Latimer Park. And fairly even second half so far. Offside has been signalled there on a Sutton player on the far side. Kettering have had a lot of the play in the second half, but could have found themselves 2-1 down. It hadn't been for some good defending by last-ditch efforts from Kettering players, as Ben Milnes turns, plays it towards Scars. Scars going forward. He's got Kelly with him, who he uses on this left-hand side. Kelly pumps it towards Enty. Enty's got Meikle and Kelly. Plays it towards Meikle. Meikle has to come back though. Plays it to Ben Milnes. Ben Milnes looking towards O'Connor. O'Connor heads it towards Enty. Can Enty get a strike in? He can't quite get there. Hodge can. Gets brought down, a penalty. Well, I thought he was going to allow Hodge to actually have a shot, but instead he has given a penalty for the foul on Enty, who scored the first and equalising goal from the spot.
Yep, Christoffery with the challenge, and it was a penalty, as you say. I was fearing the worst. He was going to say play on, but Hodge would have had a far more difficult chance, pushed wide. So the right decision from the referee to blow up, and yeah, second penalty. Daniel
Enty went low to the goalkeeper's left on his first strike. The goalkeeper went the right way, almost got a fingertip to it. What's Enty going to do now? Goalkeeper blows the whistle, up steps Enty, puts it in, goalkeeper saves it, same place, same height, goalkeeper saves it. Enty's taken 4 penalties, scored 2 and missed 2 so far this season.
Yep, that was, well, it was the right opportunity, the right height for the goalkeeper, but yeah, I don't know, it sums up the game in a way. Quite flat from Kettering today, and the penalty just didn't have enough conviction for me.
Well, it was the same side, same height, and wasn't hit particularly hard, but Kettering's penalty frailties occur again. That's to say, that's 4 penalties this season Kettering have had. They've scored 2 and missed 2, and how vital is that miss going to be, as Marcus Kelly now comes away with the ball to Enty. Enty turns, plays it wide to Storer. Storer, long ball towards O'Connor. O'Connor does well, he's being chased by Mutton. O'Connor still with the ball, comes inside, plays it through to Kennedy. Kennedy comes in, flicks in, and right at the goalkeeper's feet on his second attempt, gets it on the line as the onrushing Enty was ready for a tap in. but Gwilym's did well.
Well, we just need a spark, and the spark nearly came from Aaron O'Connor. That was very good work to find Kennedy, and a shot in at the near post. And that's what Kettering need. We need a bit more spark, attacking play, going forward, and a bit of magic just to finish this one off in Kettering's favour.
Meikle might try one, does. High and wide, loose and poor by Meikle. And new ball required. Round 25 minutes to go.
I think that was a lost mobile announcement. Somebody lost a mobile phone in the ground.
Seems rather muffled, the sound down there. It looked like James Brighton might be coming on, a man who had a great game against Kuttner on Tuesday. Kettering need a spark after that penalty miss. How costly would that be? It is Hassel who plays the ball back to Gwilym. Gwilym hooks it forward towards Marseille. He can't get there. And a flick on by Scars to Paul White. And White gets the ball in his hands, as I say. Brighton stripping off to come on. James Brighton will be the second substitution used by the Poppies this afternoon when he comes on. White takes this goal kick, a poor one from White. And the ball back with Marseille, who takes a tumble, nothing given by the referee. It's with Ancora. He takes a touch, takes another touch, still with it, playing well, plays it out wide. Ball put through towards Marseille, the goal scorer. He's down by the corner flag. Plays it to Ben George. George, right-footed, puts it in. Cleared by Scars. Only towards Enty. Enty flicks it on, but well won by Beresford. Beresford and Mutton between them ricochet the ball off Enty, and it will be a throw-in. In saying that, now it's going to be Marcus Kelly, in fact, who is coming off.
Yep, number 3's up.
So Marcus Kelly comes off, and James Brighton comes on here.
Left back. And drinks break too.
So 70 minutes gone in this game, 20 to go plus a little bit of added time. It's still 1-1. Kettering missing the chance to go ahead in this game with a penalty miss.
That gives the opportunity for the coaching staff to just get the Kettering players together. And
well, it's the classic, stop what you're doing and start playing football, isn't it?
Yeah, as I say, we just need a spark. It's been a bit flat performance today, there's no doubt about that. We had 2 gifted penalties really for challenges that probably didn't need to be made. Scored 1, missed 1, but we're looking for that bit of magic. We saw plenty of it last season up here.
Well, we did
towards the end of games, so that's what we need again.
Certainly, this is not a performance akin to the Alfreton game, and
certainly not.
Kettering don't watch out. They'll have a replay on Tuesday night, or even worse, go out the cup if this continues. Need a bit of a spark. It's a throw in to be taken by Christopher. Comes in, but headed out by Scars. Kennedy underneath it, but he loses the out. And Paul White calling for it, but Scars hooks it away. Kennedy back heads it towards Enty. Enty flicks the ball on to Elliot Hodge on the far side. It's a good flick on. Kettering forwards running towards it. Hodge with a bit of space. He needs to beat the left back. Comes outside of him. Puts the ball in. It comes off the left back corner to Kettering. .401 here at Latimer Park. Rather disappointing on a beautiful afternoon like this for the famous old competition. Kettering has scored their 890th goal with Daniel Enty's penalty as Brighton puts in this corner. It's a good corner in. O'Connor heads it, and it goes for a goal kick.
Yep. Must come off Connor's head rather than the defender's head. Yes, 1 goal I fear won't be enough for the records. Spurs breathing down her neck. Of course. Well, how many are they behind now, Paul?
11.
11.
So let's hope it's a few more than that as Scars puts the ball to Brighton. Brighton switch sides. He gets it to Ben Mills. Mills to O'Connor. O'Connor turns. Still O'Connor with it. has to look back in his own half, plays it out here to Brighton. Brighton, long ball towards Enty. Enty does well, but it's hoofed away by Sutton towards Marseille. Marseille and Scars in a tangle, and Marseille has been given the free kick for a foul by Scars as the wrestling of the shirts. So it will be a free kick midway in Kettering's half near the gantry, not too far from where we are, into the business end of this game, as we call it. Comes in from Leek, headed out by Storer. And
Offside.
That's offside anyway. The flag is up, but he's given a corner.
Yeah.
Well, the linesman's flag was up for offside.
It was definitely flagging for offside, and the linesman clearly indicate for a free kick to Kettering, but the referee said no, put your flag down.
Well, that's an
Nice
interesting
corner.
one, especially if they score from this. That'll be quite controversial, as it's a short corner taken by Akora. Comes in off at Storer, though. Storer gets the ball pumped forward towards Meikle. Meikle's only got O'Connor with him. There's 4 defenders around 2 Kettering forwards. Enty is trying to make up ground.
Meikle, though, gets the ball across to NTU, drops deep, overlapping is James Brighton. James Brighton with a shot. And that looked as though that was headed into that near side corner, but Mutton came across, got his big body on it, and it goes out for a throw-in, which Brighton takes to Daniel Enty with his back to goal. Back again to Ben Mills. Ben Mills looks up for an option, hasn't got one, has to go short to Connor Kennedy. Across to Lyndon Meikle, who switches play. Good ball across to James Brighton onto his left foot. Cross comes in for Brighton. Good. Mutton's underneath it. Only half cleared though. And a little nudge in the back there. Daniel Enty. No foul, says the referee. Breaks to Lyndon Meikle. Meikle trying to jink his way on the edge of the box. Ball forward to O'Connor. O'Connor back to the goal, trying to get a half a shot away, but has to go back to Milnes from the edge of the area. Shoots. Deflected away by the number 4, only to Hodge on the far side of the penalty area. His cross comes in, that's deflected and cleared by Mutton.
Well, Ancora gets it in Kettering's half, robbed by Storer. Storer racing away into the Sutton half. He's beaten about 3 players, squares it out towards Brighton. Brighton squares it to Meikle. Meikle now goes forward, plays it out wide to Brighton. He's continued his run. Brighton outside the penalty area, comes inside, goes outside, puts it in towards the back post. Cleared though by Christopher, and in towards Storer. Storer traps it, gets it towards Meikle. Meikle hooks it forward towards Enty. Enty under pressure here, gets it to Brighton. Brighton back post, nobody there though. There's Kennedy, goes over Kennedy. Hodge trying to get there. He does get there. Keeps it in. Gets the ball back to Connor Kennedy. Kennedy back to Hodge. Hodge now going forward as the Kettering fans find their voice. The band also strikes up. Meikle. Still Meikle with it. Finds O'Connor. Flick through towards O'Connor. Comes in here and is robbed. Good tackle there by the number 6 to deny O'Connor. I thought if he'd have got that on target, that would have been a goal.
Yeah, good defending from Beresford. He made a couple of decent interceptions in the second half, but Kettering turning the screw, applying the pressure, and Sutton Coldfield has dropped very deep.
Hodge then continues Kettering's assault on the Sutton half, but his shot low, without power, and wide of Gwillem's near post.
Yeah, poor quality shot. We know Hodge's got a better one, but the sort of pearl of on Tuesday evening, that was with his right foot. That effort was with his left foot, and it showed.
Gwillem with the goal kick. Only finds Storer. Storer gets the throw in. It's towards Meikle, but it's off Meikle's opponent. Goes for a Kettering throw in. Throw in on the far side to Kettering. It's Gary Storer with it. He finds Hodge, flicks it towards Enty, but a Sutton Coldfield boot stops it, then hoofed anywhere by the West Midland outfit towards Ancora. Does well, trying to feed through the goal scorer Marseille, but it comes off Scars, who's then flattened by Ancora, and he goes down. Might need some treatment.
Physio's being waved on.
Physio's being waved on, so there's an enforced break, and Sutton Coldfield making their second substitution. Romero Rose is coming on for them, and he's replacing number 11 Chindu Okoro. Well, we're getting into the last sort of 10-12 minute scenario, and couldn't Kettering do with a goal. That missed penalty looks like at the moment it could be vital if a replay is to be avoided.
Yeah, they've started to apply the pressure again, but I say Sutton dropped deep, plenty of men behind the ball, making it difficult for Kettering. And Kettering are playing football in front of them, but they've not really got in behind to make a decent chance so far in this second half.
Well, Scars is still down on the far side. It's in the shade, but the band is playing. I don't know if you're picking this up, but
a great escape.
Quite good, actually. It's
Let's keep it as entertained when the football isn't.
It is. Scar still receiving treatment. A bit of a chat going on down here with the Kettering bench. Aaron O'Connor's come over. And Nicky Eden just throws an empty water bottle into the bin. Kettering, of course, can only make one more substitution. Will they do that, or will they keep with the 11 that are on the park at the moment? They may be being forced into a change if Scars can't continue.
Luke Graham is the obvious choice, but he's not doing any stretches, so that tells me that they think that Scars will be back on his feet and able to continue. But he's
not. Vidal will have to come on probably.
Well, it could be Vidal, but who's going to go into the centre half position? But well, that doesn't look good. He's on his feet, but my word, he's gone. No, that's it.
Yeah, Joel Carter looks like he's going to get the call as Scars was flattened by the Sutton Coldfield player, and an enforced substitution brings on Joel Carter. Yeah, signal there from sports therapist saying that Scars can't continue, and doesn't look good.
Paul White is the new captain. Joel Carter is on, so I would imagine, yes, Connor Kennedy is going to drop back to the centre half position. Carter moves into the midfield position, and that's it now. 3 subs for Kettering. No more cards to play.
He's being helped off by Brett Salkin, who can hardly walk, so it doesn't look good for Scars. But we're back underway here as Ben Milnes switches the ball over to Brighton. Brighton takes a touch, plays it back to Ben Milnes. Ben Milnes back to James Brighton. Brighton back to Ben Milnes. It's been then pumped forward. Nothing on there for Kettering from that Milnes pump forward, but O'Connor wins the rebound. O'Connor takes a turn, looks up, plays it to Lyndon Meikle. Lyndon Meikle plays a wide ball here for Storer, does well. Can Storer make something of this? He's inside the penalty area there. He's hit it too hard, too heavy. He goes right over the box back to Brighton. Brighton to Meikle. Meikle, still Meikle with it. Might try putting one in. Doesn't. Gives it to Elliot Hodge. Hodge plays it out wide to Storer again. Storer puts one in low towards Enty. He traps it heavily though. And away then can Sutton get the ball. And that should end up with Paul White, which it does. And all that attacking flair there gone to waste as the ball's back with Paul White, and I can just see that Scars has gone down the tunnel. White then gets us back underway towards Enty, won by Mutton, but Joel Carter gets his first touch, gets it towards Elliot Hodge on the far side. Elliot Hodge has got overlapping player, but tries a shot instead. Low and direct right in the centre of Gwilliams, who takes an exorbitant amount of time to get the ball off his chest and get up and get on with it, as I'm sure the Royals will be trying to count down this clock to get a replay back at Coles Lane on Tuesday. 1-1 at the moment here as Marseille is vying with the ball with Connor Kennedy, and it's going to be a Kettering throw-in down by the corner flag. About 9 minutes of regulation time to go, plus whatever the officials deem to add on to that. There's been a couple of stoppages, but Kettering need to find a gear in the last 10 minutes. Kennedy to O'Connor, cleared by Mutton. Headed down, but only towards Meikle. Meikle flicks it through to Elliot Hodge. Hodge has got O'Connor and Enty with him. He's got Meikle also with him. And the overlap in Brighton, but it is still Hodge. But cleared by Beresford, who puts the ball into orbit. And I think that's gone down the end of Polwell Lane, as Brighton now takes the throw in quickly towards Ben Milnes. Milnes back to Brighton. Brighton on this left-hand side. Back to Ben Milnes. In Mills towards Enty, chests it down, 6-yard box, outside the 6-yard box, still Enty with it, still Enty having to go wide in the penalty area. He's got Brighton with him, now Brighton with a bit of space, can he get a decent ball over? It is a decent ball headed in, and O'Connor gets ahead to it, poorly directed header, that goes over the bar, and another chance has gone begging.
Yeah, another half chance, if you want to call it, third chance. Probably less than that, and that's been Kettering's problem today. They've really not created anything clean cut, and it's been one of those frustrating afternoons so far for Kettering. They've certainly not been at their best. They've still got some time though to try and get the winner and avoid a trip at the moment to Sutton Coldfield on a Tuesday night. It's Sutton Coldfield have got a free kick in midway through Kettering's half, found by Ben Milnes on the substitution. Romario Rise, and they're going to take the time. Reece Leake is trotting across to take it, but the centre halves are come in to add some height to the Kettering Town box. Need to be alert and on our toes. Leake's ball comes in. It's a decent one, but Paul White has equal to it, catches the ball and releases it quickly to Lyndon Meikle on this left-hand side. Meikle checks, looking for an option, and he's got James Brighton to play it forward to, but Brighton cannot keep the ball in. And another misplaced pass for Kettering, another story of the afternoon. Ball's under hit, or mainly over hit to be honest. And Ben George will take his time with the throw in, halfway in his own half, the right back. The referee blows his whistle, wants a little bit more urgency, and the throw eventually does come in just over the halfway line. Brighton rises to head it. It's fought into the midfield area with Carter. Carter surrounded by 2 or 3 players, still battling. Loses out in the end to sheer numbers. Ball was pumped forward from Halsall for Sutton, but only through to Paul White. White urging players to go forward. He's going to clear this one long, as we've got 4 minutes plus stoppage time here to go at Latimer Park. Still Kettering 1, Sutton Coldfield 1. And Sutton Coldfield have the ball at the moment in the midfield area with Rose trying to find the goal scorer, Marseille, but loses out, and the ball breaks to Carter. Carter finds Meikle, but Meikle's closed down. Had a nibble out there by number 8, Sean Martin. Free kick to Kettering taken quickly. Brighton to Meikle, inside to Ben Milnes in support, and thought that number 12 got the ball there, but much to his disgust, the referee has given a free kick to Kettering. Halfway inside the Sutton half, Ben Milnes takes it quickly to Brighton. Brighton, first time cross on his left foot, it's a decent one, but it's a good header by Mutton, the tall centre half for Sutton Coldfield. Clearly the tallest player on the pitch this afternoon, and it's gone out for a throw-in in front of the Kettering Town Football Club stand. Taken inside, but Kettering have to funnel the ball back, and it goes all the way back, in fact, to Paul White. Clears right to left, long, and Daniel Enty there clashing with the left back, Christoforou, who goes down, clutching his face, and just having a word with the linesman to see what the verdict of what actually happened there. And the referee, I think, will go and have a chat to his linesman and ask for an opinion. But hopefully nothing more than just a talking to, perhaps, for Enty. I think that's all it is going to be. Referee, though, wants another chat, this time with the Sutton Coldfield defender, number 6, James Beresford. He obviously gave his outspoken criticism of the play, or demanding a card or something to be shown, but all it's going to be is a free kick, which Lewis Williams will take, the goalkeeper this afternoon. Beaten by 1 penalty, saved in a second from Dan Enty. And it goes long, cleared by Gary Storer, only to the midfield area. Christoforou hoists it forward, but that's gone aimlessly out for a throw into Kettering, which Storer will take. Finds Ben Mills. Ben Mills back to goal, but does well to get the ball away. Over the top of Mutton, but Beresford will feed it back to Williams, who clears left-footed and finds number 10, but he's battled away Joel Carter well there. But he hasn't come away with the ball, though. And Reece Leake is now displaced by Carter. Well done. Finds O'Connor in the centre circle. O'Connor looking for an option, doesn't really have one. Ball bobbles out to Carter, out to Hodge. Hodge comes inside, trying to find a through ball to Milnes, but intercepted by Marseille. And it's Sutton's turn to come over the halfway line and give the ball away. So it's poor play, to be honest, from both sides at the moment, trying to get hold of the ball. Meikle having a run, checks inside on his right foot. There's nobody out wide. Finds Carter also central. Carter held up, has to wait for Storer to come into play to give a little bit of width, but it's well inside the Sutton half. Storer on the far side, plays it inside, looking for Carter into the penalty box now. Turns, deflected, corner for Kettering. 5 minutes extra time here at Latimer Park on Poppy's Radio. Are we going to see another late goal here this afternoon? James Brighton will be swinging this one in on his left foot. Comes to the Carter. Carter just lets the ball run by, and that's cleared, hoofed out, and will go over my head onto pitch 2 for a throw into Kettering on the halfway line. At the moment, we are facing a trip to Sutton Coldfield on a Tuesday night. Throw-in is inside to Connor Kennedy. Connor Kennedy plays it long. Beautiful pass to Hodge on that far side. That was a raker. Hodge cuts inside onto his left foot, finds Carter. Carter sweeps! A shot just wide of the post. Just wide of the post. That was better from Kettering. Lovely ball from Connor Kennedy. The long ball. Decent crossing from Hodge. Decent attempt from Carter. Fortunately, we've not said decent attempt enough this afternoon. And it stays at 1-1. And Williams clears to my left all the way to Kennedy, who rises the best. Ball breaks to Carter. Carter heads the ball out to Brighton. Brighton playing 1-2 with Carter, then plays it long but gives the ball away. And it comes to Reece Leake for Sutton. Ball goes forward to the danger man Marseille. Marseille trying to get a shot on his left foot. He does, but it's a bubbler. Goes all the way through to Paul White. Poppy's fans are urging White to go long, and that's indeed is what he is going to do. Clears from my right into the sun, and it's a clearing header, and it's number 8 for Sutton. Gets the ball away to Romario Rose, the substitute. He's quick on that far side, and Gascoigne has to concede the corner, so it's Sutton Coldfield's turn now to hope for a dramatic last-minute winner. Romario Rose trots across to take the corner. Kettering need to be on their guard. In fact, Rose is going to leave it for Reesleek, number 10. Kettering need to be on their toes. They need to be on their guard to keep this late Sutton attack away. Corner comes in right-footed. White is floundering a little bit. The ball comes back across, and it's cleared to go for a goal kick for Kettering. And it's going to be a very late goal if we are to get a late goal here this afternoon at a sunny Latimer Park. As Paul White clears long, Daniel Enty rises but is beaten by Mutton, and the ball comes down to Marseille, who's beaten by the ball by Carter. Carter finds Meikle. Brighton is overlapping on the left. That's a decent ball. Can he get there? No, he can't. It's decent play actually by the number 10 Reesleek, who then clears the ball into the midfield area. Cartwright with the header up. The ball is bouncing around, goes long and all the way back to Paul White. The referee has a look at his watch, still content to play on for the moment. There can't be too much time left now. Paul White clears long. Aaron O'Connor on the end of it, tries to get on, but it's Mutton who comes across. Huge hoik forward, and the ball comes through, and that will go for a throw-in. No, it's the referee doesn't, the linesman doesn't give a throw-in. Thought that was a throw-in for Sutton, but the ball is going out on the far side, and it will be Kettering throw deep inside their own half. Quickly taken, and Hodge though loses the ball, and it's going to be, is that going to be it? No, the referee says play on still, so we're still playing. Enty with a flick on to O'Connor. O'Connor finds Hodge on that far side. It goes for a first time cross. It's hopeful, but Meikle can't get hold of it, but he breaks back out to Lyndon Meikle. Lyndon Meikle trying to shake on his right foot inside the penalty box, goes back to his left foot, well done. And Mutton does well to get the blocking challenge in there. Comes through to Enty to Carter. Carter blocked for number 6 this time, close to the edge of the 6-yard box, and that is all this afternoon. And the Sutton Coldfield players, a lot of them just dropped to the ground there. Tired indeed. It's been a hot day this afternoon, but they've come away with what you have to say is probably a deserved draw. Kettering not at their best this afternoon, it has to be said. Tale of 2 penalties, one scored in the first half by Daniel Enty, one missed in the second half, and we go to a replay in the Emirates FA Cup at Sutton Coldfield on Tuesday evening. That's all from me upstairs, and we'll hand you down now to Paul Cook in the studio.
Frustrating afternoon, Nicky, in the FA Cup. I bet you're scratching your head a bit, aren't you?
Well, I sort of warned the lads, because I've been to watch Sutton. They've got through the last round against a higher ranked team. And I said one thing they will do is they'll hang on in there. Warn the lads against that complacency, and that if you drop your levels, they're going to raise theirs, so there'll not be that much difference then. But and I thought first 15-20 minutes they totally ignored me. So I just don't think we did our jobs first 15 minutes. Nothing to do with the shape really, but I ended up changing it again, and it seemed to get us a foothold in the game, and then we started getting on the ball more and dominating the possession. You get a goal back. You sort of come in thinking, at half time, go on and win the game.
Seemed to be a very, very flat performance compared to last week against Alfreton, where everything seemed to be more energetic. There seemed to be more at the races, and today, virtually the same team, just one change in it, and no comparable to the game last week.
No, like I say, it's not the first time it's happened, and not be the last. That you think it's going to be easier against a lower ranked team, and you. Whether it's subconsciously, you drop your levels a little bit, and you're not quite as fired up because you think we'll be okay today. But again, warned them against that. But listen, we're still in the cup.
The old Achilles heel, though, the penalties are struck again, hasn't it? Another one that's cost us dearly in many respects.
Yeah, I mean, but he scored one and missed one. So it you can't lay it all at Dan's feet. I just felt that, especially second half, we got loads of possession, some decent build-up play, and I'd said, Sutton want to stay narrow and compact, so that's why I stuck Odgie on, give us the width and really stretch him that, widthways. If you can't stretch him in behind, you've got to stretch him widthways, and I felt that we created a lot of opportunities, I won't say chances, but a lot of times when you're thinking if that final ball's a bit better, or somebody makes a better decision, picks somebody out rather than just puts the ball in. I thought we could have created like proper chances, out and out chances. We still have, but just not enough.
Artificial surface to contend with on Tuesday, and not one of the better ones. The ones that I've seen, it's going to be quite a difficult game, I would think, on there. Some of our players don't react too well to artificial surfaces. One of them injured today, I think it was as well. Brett, I don't know if he's injured, but he struggles a bit on artificial. And Scars, how bad is he?
We'll have to see how it settles down with Scarsy. The lad's sort of just, in the challenge, his momentum's carried him through, onto Scarsy, and he's caught him. I think it's round about his knee, but we'll just have to see how it settles down.
The surface though, what do you rank to that?
Artificial. I mean, if I was playing on it, I'd just be thinking I can get this ball down and pass it. Once you settle the ball down, I know sometimes it's a bit, on the artificial, it's gets a bit bouncy, but once you get it down, you can pass it. I'm not making excuses for our pitch, but it was dry, bobbly, and it don't help our attacking players sometimes. The dribblers, like Odgie and Linden, Marcus when he gets on it, you see it kicking up off the surface, but there'll be none of that Tuesday night. So in my mind, I'd be thinking, we can get it down and pass this.
Yeah, as I say, you were still in the FA Cup. We'll find out the draw obviously on Monday. We haven't lost the game, which is good. And it gives us a chance to get more goals in the competition. But it was an extremely frustrating afternoon, I think, all round, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, listen, if the penalty goes in, I can't really think of many more chances that they've had, apart from the goal. So
they had one technique, hoof the ball up forward for Marseille, didn't they, in the second half with the wind and
that
was...
but if you go 2-1 up, then obviously they might. Last 10 or 15, they're going to come out and probably throw a caution to win, try and get an equaliser. We might have picked him off a bit more, but we haven't done, so we've got to go Tuesday.
We'll be there to cover that, and let's hope that we can go through disappointing, but a nice day for it, I suppose, out there on the pitch. But we'll see how we go Tuesday, Nicky, and hopefully we'll get through it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Nicky Eden there on today's 1-1 draw with Sutton Coldfield Town. Replay on Tuesday night at Coles Lane. We'll see you all there. That's all from Poppies TV. Good night.